everyone. It's finale time now. Get hype. Alright, that should be good. Should be good. Let me tell Priscilla that I am alive. Okay, we'll go there in a second. We'll come here. Alright. I'm doing better and going live. What up, Brian? What's good? It is the end indeed. It is the end. And I'm hyped, but I'm also slightly like, oof, what's gonna happen here now? Let me get the game open real quick. Let's find out who this really is. For real, man! It feels like that, I'll be honest with you. Okay, desktop, Weeb Wednesday. Zero Escape, the Nonary Games. Close that. Come over here. Unplug this, plug this in. Bada bing, bada boom. And then we launch it. And it's ending time. Let's do it. Let's freaking do it, man. Oh, I'm pumped. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. I have theories. I have ideas. Oh, nice. That's actually convenient. The Twitch app was being nice to me. It was being real cool for me. So I'm figuring we just got like 2 hours of story. And we're just going to go for it. And we're just going to see what we get. So we just escaped Q, right? And now there's this. One would think this would be the end, but there might very well be more. So we will see. Oftentimes you escape a room and then it still is like, hey, what if we spent forever, though, doing a thing, you know? Like, probably get some water. No, get water! We have time. Get water, man.
We should get back to the Floor A warehouse, then.
Drink water. Be healthy. Hey, wait. Did you guys hear something? Uh-oh, you didn't hear it? It came from over there. Sounded like something turning on. Oh? The screen wasn't on before.
You're right. Guess it was set to turn on when we opened the door.
It looks like an authentication screen.
This is the
I think
one
we need
that
to
I
put in an ID and a password.
Okay, alright,
Yeah,
alright.
what?
Alright, it's lion time. It's single lion. It's not double lion, it's single lion this time. That was when I noticed the illustration. The lion is eating the sun. The lion is eating the sun. The lion is eating the... Memento mori, remember death, if the ninth lion ate the sun. Yeah, this has been all over. We knew this. Yeah, we totally knew this, my man. We totally knew this. We been new, boy. Oh, of course. This was the real ninth lion. But if that was the case... Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, yes. Yes, we've seen all this. Uh-huh. We know this. We've been new. We've been new this. So now I'm assuming this is the one we're going, Kurashiki. And Jumpy Doll on. That's what I'm assuming. No! BS. Okay, here we go!
Sigma!
Here we go! little derpy, man.
Akane. Her name is Akane Kurashiki. I've been looking for her for
Okay.
a very long time.
So are you Junpei then? So then Clover was definitely cryo-freezed, right? He walked toward her. Slowly, carefully, almost as if he was afraid of scaring her away, he reached out.
She's a hologram.
Okay! Am I lagging? It seems like I'm lagging for you. It seems like I'm lagging. Hold on. My stream says it's okay, so we're gonna trust it, but it seems like you're getting things late. Temioji squeezed his eyes shut.
Akane.
He closed his hand around empty air and let it fall to his side. There was a moment of sad silence, and then she began to speak. Oh, fair enough, fair enough.
I see you finally arrived. I've been waiting for you. Well, I suppose that's slightly inaccurate. What you see now is a holographic message I recorded before you came here. Unfortunately, this means I will not be able to answer your questions, at least not directly.
So who the freak was Zero Senior then? If that wasn't June...
I hope you will understand.
Okay. Was Zero Senior Santa? Oh gosh, was he Santa? Was he Santa and Temioji was Junpei? Oh my gosh, he... Okay. Alright, I'm here.
Now, where to begin?
I don't like her animations. It's not good. It doesn't look good.
You probably have a great many questions. What day is it? Where are we? Who is Zero? And what does he have to do with Akane Kurashiki? But I imagine there is one question that rises above all the others. Why were we brought here? The answer to that is simple. Everything that has happened here is part of our plan. All of this was required for the success of the AB project. I assume you heard the name by now, at least. In any event, you were all needed in order to execute our plan. The nonary game was necessary for the same reason. Your question now, I imagine, is just what is this AB project? The answer to that is also simple. Allow me to explain. We created the AB project for one purpose: to transport the consciousnesses of two people into the past. Those two people are you, Sigma, and you, Phi.
Okay. What do you mean the past? The moment the words were out of my mouth, I realized no one there could answer the question, not Phi, not Temioji, and certainly not a pre-recorded hologram.
Have you figured out what this room is?
No.
I assume you saw the Q on the door.
Is it the incinerator?
It stands for quantum. That makes this the quantum room.
It took me a moment to realize she changed subjects without even pausing. There was nothing we could do, of course, but I still felt a great twinge of frustration.
Take a look at the rear of the room. Do you see that large enclosure? That houses our quantum computer.
You makes sense. No, it doesn't. Nothing makes
The
sense.
systems that control this entire facility run on that machine. That
Interesting.
includes the construct you refer to as Zero Jr.,
Also, hi,
as
babe.
well as the golems.
No worries, man. No worries, Dan. I appreciate it. I was wondering if you were gonna pop in. But yeah, no worries. The VOD will be up, so you can watch that for sure. Thanks for popping in, though. Appreciate it. Have a good time with your girl.
All of them do their thinking in that box. Isn't that strange, though? It seems contrary to how we perceive the world.
Why are you old? Akane, you were the best girl, and now you're old.
The body, the thing that you see and interact with, is somewhere else. But the mind and all its thoughts are in this box. Perhaps it isn't so strange, though.
Why is K me?
Perhaps humans are the same, with our minds and thoughts existing separate from our bodies. Our core is in our head, of course. We all have individual brains, think individual thoughts, and act according to individual wills. That makes communication difficult, though. So, we're forced to rely on inefficient mediums, like language, photographs, nonverbal cues, etc., to transmit information. Each one of us is an individual.
I'm probably
We
gonna be
have
quiet
no
for a while.
direct
This stream is
connection
paying
to
attention.
anyone else.
Get water, get water. That's a good idea. Go get some water.
But is that really true? In the dimensions we are most familiar with, yes, it is. If we look at things from another higher dimension, however, we may all be connected after all, like the branches of a tree or a rhizome. Imagine a horizontal cross-section of
We already
the
did
root
that
system
puzzle.
of a large tree. All you can see are the spots where the roots intersect the plane of your
We
cross-section.
already did that puzzle.
In the two dimensions you see, the roots all appear to be individual things with no connection to one another. But this isn't the case. If you expand your view and look at the root system in 3 dimensions instead of only 2, you see the truth. All the roots join together at the trunk. In 2 dimensions, they appear to be separate. But if you look at the roots from a 3rd higher dimension, you see things that might appear to be separate from one another in 3 dimensions could be connected to one another if you look at them in 4 dimensions. Doesn't that at least seem like it could be?
Okay,
a
but what is the
possibility?
4th dimension, girl?
I believe that is how
Homegirl, what is the
consciousness
4th dimension,
actually
though?
works. Well, I'm not the only one, I suppose. Zero and I share that belief.
Morphogenetic field theory.
Okay, got it. Timmy OG mumbled something that sounded like nonsense. I opened my mouth to ask him what it meant, but Akane was already talking again.
Now, when I talk about a 4th dimension, I'm referring to the 4th dimension used in Minkowski space-time.
Okay.
Let's start with a single dimension, where all that exists is a point. Connect points to one another, and you have a line. In 1 dimension, the only surface you can create is that, a line. But move to 2 dimensions and create more lines, and you can create shapes. These are 2-dimensional surfaces. Move up to 3 dimensions, and you can connect these shapes to one another and form 3-dimensional objects. Now you have a 3-dimensional surface, which encompasses a volume of space. Connect 3-dimensional objects to one another, and you formed a 4-dimensional
Okay,
object,
I mean that's still
which
just a
encompasses
3-dimensional
a
object that I'm
volume
looking
of
at, but
space
I'll go with it. We'll play along for a bit here.
It is on that 4th-dimensional axis that our minds are connected.
Okay.
If that was true, then what would prevent anyone from sending their consciousness backward or forward in time? That theory is the foundation of the AB project. The A represents after, and the B represents before.
The After-Before Project.
It probably sounds silly to you.
It's Zero Escape.
A
I've learned to go
ridiculous
with it.
story made up by a mad old woman. But look at what's happened to you. You've seen many different worlds and timelines, haven't you, Sigma? And what about you, Phi? I know you have too. Am I wrong? Tenmyoji should know what I'm talking about as well. I believe you experienced something.
Oh
very
my gosh, you are
similar
Ju- okay.
a century ago.
Hello, Junpei.
You sent your consciousness to
Hello,
the
Junpei.
past to help save a little girl's life. It was a long time ago, but perhaps you still remember.
Yeah, of course I do. How could I forget? That little girl was you, Akane.
That's wild. That is wild. I'd already kind of picked up on it, but still, like, jeez Louise. Suddenly it felt like Fi and I were outsiders trespassing on something we had no right to see. Temioji's face was taunt with emotion. I think they meant to say taut. With emotion as he looked into Akane's eyes. It seemed almost like she was looking back at him.
Now, unfortunately, my time is up.
Okay.
The final stage of the project will begin very soon. I need to go prepare. The next time we meet, I can tell you the rest of the story.
The next time we meet, girl, you dead.
So come and find me.
Do you remember the elevator? I finally understand what you meant. Oh my
I'll be
gosh.
waiting.
No.
One last thing. The cat in the box. Is it alive or is it dead? Sigma? Phi? You will decide its fate.
You're talking about you, girl?
Goodbye.
Wait! Akane, wait!
Oh, Tenmyoji. I can almost see you. You don't need to worry. Everything is going to be okay. I will see you.
So is it Junpei Tenmyoji? Is that what it's
But I'm
implying?
going to have to ask you to wait.
Akane Kuroshiki Junpei Tenmyoji.
longer.
Wait!
I'm sure if it reveals it, they won't spoil it, but I'm assuming that's what they're going with. And then she was gone! Tenmyoji collapsed to his knees, his back hunched and shaking, his art style returning to the first game. I saw tears land on the white-knuckled fists he pressed against his thighs. Kept quiet, what was there to say? Fi and I looked at one another and nodded silently. With a shaking hand, Tenmyoji pulled a photograph out of his pocket. It was a picture of a girl. Who knows who took that picture or why he had it or any of that, but you know. After all that we'd been through, her smile was enough to break your heart. Yep, there's definitely more. Okay, cool. I love that. We made our way to the warehouse on floor A and met up with the others. It took only a few minutes to decide to head to the infirmary. As soon as we arrived, we began to treat Alice and Cork for Radical 6. I gave Luna the Excelsior that I'd found in the queue room. She quickly prepared it and... injected Alice and Quark.
Thank goodness. It will take some time for them to recover completely, but they should be fine.
Good.
Indeed.
Thank you, Luna. And thanks for finding the medicine, you guys. Thank you so much.
Don't sweat
No
it.
need to thank us.
Temioji said nothing, just walked over to Quark's unconscious body. He took the small boy's hand in his own and held it tight. I could see tears at the corners of his eyes as he turned away from us. That would be why Temioji trusted Clover so much in the beginning. Interesting. There were roots where he was definitely like, hey, Clover, I trust you. Wild. Suddenly I remembered Dio. Where had he gone? It didn't take me long to find him. Nice. He was sprawled unconscious on the floor beneath the sink. Handcuffs?
Oh, we found those in the crew quarters. Before you returned, we went to check on the bomb in room 2, and we found them there. Of course, the bomb was indeed turned off. Thank you again for dealing with them. You are, quite literally, lifesavers.
It is the final finale, for real.
You have
This
my
is the
eternal
final
gratitude.
episode, man. This is our flowchart right now. This is it. It's completely filled out. Every single square on this flowchart is filled out, and yet we are not done, which means we got some more. It's gonna be great. We love it. I glanced over to Fi and see as she was doing the same thing. Yeah, get cocked, Dio. You're the worst. After that, we headed back to the Floor 8 warehouse to play the AB game, specifically me, Fi, K, and Luna. Clover and Temioji decided to remain in the infirmary just in case something happened with Alice, Quark, or Dio. Luna would represent Clover's team, with Quark and Dio sleeping. Kay would represent their team by default, which left me, Phi, and Ted Mioji. You should vote.
No, I'll let you handle it. I chose Betray in the last round. You probably don't trust me right now.
What? That doesn't matter now.
Excuse me, I apologize for interrupting, but I think you should be the one to vote.
This is just halfway done? Oh my gosh. No! No! No flowchart 2.
Why?
You already have 9 BP. There's no reason for you to choose Betray now. You see?
Hey, you're acting like I might actually try and betray her.
Not necessarily.
Oh gosh.
What does it matter what he's suggesting? We're almost there. We just have to play the AB game 3 more times. Then we can all get 9 points. But that means each representative has to choose Alan
Dio's
all 3
knocked
times.
out, so that's easy. Yeah, it's freaking easy. Because then Phi, Quark, Dio, Kay, and Clover would all have 9. And then the next round, it'd be the same. And then the next round, me to Mioji, Alice and Luna would all get 9. And we'd be gone.
Okay, I'll vote. You're sure you're alright with this, Sigma?
Yeah, I trust you. Hand her the star key.
Shall we open the doors?
No, no Final Finale 3. I don't have work tomorrow. We're going and we're finishing it. That's what's going down.
And at 40?
Oh, right. We have to wait for the deadline.
Oh, well, we could vote earlier, but then each voter would be stuck inside the AB room for 45 minutes.
Okay, let's go back.
I agree.
Let's go back what? To the infirmary then.
Please,
Cool.
lead the way.
Luna and Kay set off toward the yellow door. I was about to follow when...
Hold on. I just remembered something.
What?
The AB room on the left, in one of the other histories, she...
Oh, yeah. You're right. Akani's body was in there. What does this mean? Why didn't we find her body this time?
Maybe because she wasn't murdered.
Stop talking! What? But how? When did history change?
Do you remember what Akane said?
The cat in the box. Is it alive or is it dead, Sigma?
No, why does June have to keep being the freaking...
Decide its fate.
Freaking... What's his name? Schrodinger's cat. Why is June the ultimate Schrodinger's cat?
Exactly.
I wonder what she meant about us deciding its fate.
Perhaps she was saying her own fate wasn't decided yet. The
Huh?
history where she's alive and the history where she's murdered are both real, right?
What? No, that's impossible. We've already opened the box. We opened the door to this AV room and there was no body.
No, we haven't opened the box. We haven't found a body. But we haven't found her alive yet either. In other words, we haven't actually observed her. The hologram was a recording from before this game started.
Wild!
The next time we meet, I can tell you the rest of the story.
Freak!
So come and find me. I'll be waiting.
Where was Akane now? Where was she waiting for us? Or what if she wasn't anywhere now? What if she was waiting for us in another timeline? What if she was waiting for us in the past? Was that even possible? If she was, what would that mean? Bruh. Bruh! Bruh. Bruh. Bruh, what the freak, bruh? Bro, what the freak, bro? Bro. No. Not to be continued. It's right there. What the freak? I have to physically choose to jump back? Ah. Ow. Ow, 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 ow. Feels like my head's gonna explode. Wait. Where am I? Are you for real, game? It's like an elevator, but...
No, this is one of the AB rooms.
Yeah, who are you? And what's an AB room?
Damn, I guess you did lose your memory after all.
Memory. Memory. It's like a cool effect, but they overuse it, I think. I remember! You're fine. She grinned. When is this?
Check your bracelet.
It's a red pair. EP is 3.
Mine's the same.
Does this mean this is the beginning of the game? We've gone back to when we first woke up in the AB room.
No, not quite. I think we woke up a little earlier this time.
Oh my gosh, how do you
Push the
know?
buttons on the side of your bracelet.
2 hours, 15 minutes.
We didn't wake up this long before the primary doors opened last time.
Oh my gosh!
We're about an hour early.
Wait a minute. If you're right.
Yeah, Akane might still be alive.
Oh my gosh, here we
We got
go.
back before Dio killed her. I think.
Then
Right. We're here for one reason.
keep her alive. That's what we're here for, to stop her from getting killed.
Exactly.
Let's move. We need to get out of
Don't
here
need to
fast.
tell me twice. Let's go.
Don't you make me do this escape room again, game. Game! 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 Game, we did this already! Game! Game! Oh, okay. Alright. Okay, cool. Sun, star, sun. Yes, I got the gold files! Okay, I opened it. That's the wrong password. We need the other one to get the key. Okay, my bad. I just wanted to see. I'm curious if they're going to acknowledge Sigma's, like, super memory at some point. I feel like they have to, right? I feel like that's gotta come up at some point. Because he has super memory. I mean, he's got, like, the craziest memory in the world. Grab a cracker. You meant key. How? Just shut up and do it. Okay. Alright, let's put this key in here. Just do it already. No need to yell. Alright, good. Looks like they worked. Meta memory. It is! It's wild. Ready, Phi? What do you think? I know. I don't need to ask every time, right? Then why are you asking? Hurry up and right. I'm going. 10, 9, 8, 1, done. Oh my gosh, Sigma, stop counting! Stop counting down every time, Sigma. Jeez Louise. Hey, you pushed the button. Bite me, you were taking too long. We're on a schedule here. Sigma, you are really dumb, bro. You are really dumb, bro. Fine, I climbed up through the hatch and out of the top of the AB room. It took us only a moment to spot them. Akane! Behind her was Dio. He's moving quickly and quietly, a knife glinting in his right hand. There was no time to yell at her. I scrambled down from the top of the AB room. There was no time to yell to her, but there was time to climb down from the top of the AB. Just yell Dio! It'll confuse him, it'll turn around, it's easy! When I looked back, she was still standing on the roof. Vi, what are you doing? Get down here and... Before I could finish, she moved. She's gonna use her super fast sonic powers. She ran across the roof, launched herself into the air. Nice! Deck that boy! Oh my gosh, destroy him! Oh my gosh, knock him out. What the?
He's fine, just unconscious.
I bent down and held my fingers in front of his mouth. He was still breathing.
I don't think he saw me. He probably has no idea what happened to him.
Guy went down like a sack of potatoes.
He had it coming.
He did. Amen. I heard footsteps come to a stop right in front of us. I looked up. Hello, June. How are you?
So you came. I've been waiting for you. You're here to hear the rest, right?
Yes. Wait, just wait a minute. What is your deal? How can you be so calm? If we hadn't shown up just now, you'd...
Have been stabbed in the heart by this young man and died. Yes.
That already happened,
Although,
Sigma.
that reminds me,
Sigma,
I haven't thanked you.
you really gotta
yet.
get on board with this whole timeline jumping thing. You really gotta get on board with it, man.
Thank you very much. I very much appreciate you saving me.
What?
Hold on. How do you know about being stabbed by Dio? Are you an Esper too?
Yes, indeed I am.
June really is, man. She really is. I don't know if you've missed it, Dirt Squirrel, but this is June. If you missed the last couple streams, you kind of missed a lot, but...
I am able to jump through time, just like you.
What were you thinking? If you knew he was going to stab you, then why were you going to let him do it?
Because I had to.
What?
Think back. Why are you here? If I hadn't been killed by Dio,
Oh my gosh.
no one else would have been murdered.
Oh my gosh.
Consequently, your own abilities would never have manifested.
Oh my gosh.
I did explain, didn't I? The purpose of the AB project was to send the two of you to the past. Or your minds, at least. In order for that to happen, some death was
Correct,
necessary.
yes. Correct, babe. That is exactly what is happening here.
When a human brain is faced with danger, its processing speed increases. Information is processed more quickly, and time almost seems to slow.
No knife. No
A
knives.
few seconds can feel like an eternity. Unfortunately, that in itself isn't enough to send
Fair
oneself
enough.
through
No,
time.
so babe, so this is the girl from the last game. This is the waifu, and Temioji, the old guy, is the main character of the last game.
The amplitude of the consciousness
Which leaves a lot
is
of
simply
questions as to
too
why
small.
Clover is the same age, but the rest of them are also much
In
older.
order to increase the amplitude, we need to slow down the brain before the increase happens.
I don't care about all the sciencey stuff. Give me the lore.
It's a little like a slingshot.
Yes, correct. Correct, babe.
You pull back on the rubber band and then let go. The potential energy you stored in the band is released and converted into kinetic energy. That's what fires the bullet out of the slingshot.
So I'm assuming this is Akane Kurashiki. I'm assuming Temioji is Junpei Temioji. That Temioji is his last name. Correct. So little Jimmy, if you missed that ending, little Jimmy is a kid that he adopted in old age, but he's not actually related to. He just took him in as a baby. Yeah.
Now,
Akane is Akane.
While a
Oh
slingshot
gosh,
can
she
only
is.
fire in one direction, your mind isn't similarly limited. When the bullet of your consciousness is fired from a slingshot of your brain, it travels past the three-dimensional world and into the four-dimensional one. From that perspective, time is no longer fixed.
Hey kids, you like when your brain becomes a slingshot that you shoot through space and time?
In other words, you can travel to the future, the
Yeah,
past.
no, I agree. I've kind of been
whenever
half
you
listening
like.
to them.
Your
I get the point.
consciousness has been released
I get the point.
from
You're saying the
the
fourth dimension is
three-dimensional
time and our
page.
minds can move through it. You don't need to over-explain it like this, you
In
know?
order for that to happen, I had to infect you with Radical 6.
Wild. Whoa, what?
We're infected with Radical 6?
Yes. Don't you remember, Sigma?
I do
Luna
remember.
should have told you about it in another timeline.
Are you sure?
So we don't know. We know that Robot Chick is, Jocasta. I don't know what that means, but she is... This is how they're connected. She's a robot that works in the place that Akane lives. Grand Waifu lives.
Infecting all of these people with
It's
such
convoluted.
a horrible disease?
That is very convoluted.
Every single one of you has been infected. Well, apart from Luna, of course.
Oh, got it. Cool.
Unfortunately, it was necessary. We needed to slow your minds in order to store up your potential energy. Then we provided a dire situation that would accelerate your processing speed.
So basically, not only is Akane, throwing people into death games again, but she's also committing biological warfare? This is great.
The
I love
result
it.
is what you are now experiencing.
What a waifu.
Your consciousness now occupies four-dimensional space-time. Even that, however, wasn't enough. You had the ability to travel, but your memories could easily be lost during the trip. If the project was to succeed, you had to be able to retain everything you learned in each reality. That was the reason you were forced to jump so many times. With each jump, your ability to remember improved. Eventually, you would be able to retain everything.
That's wild. So the game literally is like, hey, remember in 999 how you actually don't have to do all the timelines to get the true ending? This game you do. If you don't do all the timelines, you don't have the power you need to jump through worlds. Suck it.
That is why we made you play the AB game.
Am I correct? Okay, am I correct in saying that, though? Because, like, let's just take it one timeline at a time, right? The green door. This is where Luna gives us all the information we need that helps us know kind of what's going on there. We learn that she's a robot. This one gives us a two-headed lion key. This route gives us a bomb deactivation code. This route gives us a bomb deactivation code. This route gives us a... This one gives her her ID card, which has all the passwords. This one gives us nothing. The freak clover? This one gives us nothing. Wait, what? This one literally gives us nothing. Did this one give us the password? Is this the one that had the Zero Senior? This might have been the Zero Senior route. This one had a bomb deactivation code, and this is... No, this is the... Yeah, this is a bomb deactivation code. That's wild, man. That's freaking wild. Wild.
That was why you had to select different chromatic doors. By forcing specific choices, we could cause you to make more jumps.
Oh my gosh! I get it. I think I finally understand. Well, okay, there are a lot of things I don't understand, but all of what you just told me makes sense. You did all of this so that Fi and I could jump through four-dimensional space with our memories intact.
Yes.
Right? But why did you need us to do that? People have died for this. I mean, let's count how many different ways people died. Murder, antimatter explosions, suicide. I've died, so has Fi, so have you. Everyone has died. So why would you do all this? What does it matter that Fi and I jump through time?
Haven't I told you? Death was unavoidable. You are all destined to die.
Akane's going a little psycho on me here.
Sacrifices had to be made.
She's going a little psycho.
for the
What is the
sake
point of the project is what I would like to know. I already know all that. What I'm asking you is why? What is so important that it's worth all this?
Ah, I'm sure you'll figure it out eventually.
Bruh.
What? Just when is eventually?
In a future not very far from now.
BS, it's not good enough. Why can't you tell us now? Instead of answering, Akane knelt down next to Dio and picked his knife up off the floor.
I'm going to keep this with me.
No, Akane. No. What do you have, Akane? A knife! No. Don't change the
But
subject.
it's almost time.
What are you talking about? We've got plenty of time.
No, in a few moments you'll return to the original timeline.
What?
This is the way it has to be. Don't fight it. Logomorph.
Yes.
Lagomorph.
Lagomorph?
You call him Zero Jr. His official designation is Lagomorph. Lagomorph, this is an order. Unlock my bracelet.
Compliance.
The frick?
Now, everything is in place.
She does look a little psycho,
I have
not
put
gonna
the
lie.
bracelet onto Dio. All we have to do is place his body in the 5th AB room, the second one from the right.
That's the one Quark is in, right?
Correct. I will move him. I will also put your bodies back into the 3rd AB room. Once that's done, I will reset its puzzle to an unsolved state.
Why do you need to do all that?
To recreate the history that you remember. Your consciousness is about to leave your body and return
Wild.
to the future. Your body will be emptied, and your other consciousness will jump back in. If your bodies aren't back in the 3rd AB room by then, it would be bad.
So you're saying some version of us is going to wake up in that room and repeat the same history again?
Okay.
Well, I guess this could actually be our 2nd or 3rd time.
You are exactly correct. Lastly, I'm going to leave this with you.
She paused and pulled something out of her pocket. It was a small key attached to a string.
I'll tie it onto your ankle so that you won't lose it. All right, Sigma?
Don't patronize me, woman. What's it say on there?
Tu fui ego eris.
It's Latin. It means, what you are, I was. What I am, you will be.
Yes.
What am I supposed to do with it?
It will help you meet someone who's very important.
What?
Go. Return to the future. You won't be. I will be at your side, watching over you.
Okay.
Now hurry.
Wait, I still... Okay. Okay. She will help you find your true love. I think the key's gonna help me find her. I think is what it's going for. To be continued, my butthole. To be continued, my butthole, bro. Yeah, AB game round 3, ally. Cool. Great. I love it. I just keep getting more questions.
Oh, looks like you're awake.
Is this the infirmary?
Why are we here?
Do you know what happened at the AB gate?
Kay and I went back to the infirmary, but
We waited and waited, and the two of you never returned.
so we went to the warehouse to check on you.
We found you passed out in front of the AB rooms.
Kay and I hurried back here with you.
I looked over at Fi and met her eyes. Do you remember what happened just now?
You mean what happened a long time ago?
Yeah. Got him pretty good, huh?
Huh.
What a loser.
Yeah, I remember all right.
Hey, what are you guys talking about?
Quark, you're alive!
Liver?
Yeah, I don't care about you,
Back
Alice.
among the conscious and not psychotic, huh? Yeah, thanks.
Grandpa told me what you did. Thanks for finding the medicine for us.
Except we all have the virus. We all need the medicine. All in a day's work, although I wouldn't mind a little swimsuit. Shut up,
Only
Sigma!
grabbing at straws here, aren't you?
I wasn't talking to Quark. That was an offer for Alice. She's wearing less than a swimsuit
Not
right now,
really
anyways.
my point.
Whatever. Forget about that. Now that you guys are awake, all we gotta do is open the number 9 door.
Huh?
What are you talking about?
Look at your bracelet.
It says 10. I have 10 BP!
I've got 15 BP.
What the freak?
That means I got 6 more points while I was out.
Oh, yeah, because she was the one that was already at 9. But how?
You've been asleep for more than 2 hours. We've played the AB game 3 times.
3
Yes,
times.
of course, the color and group assignments were shuffled around each time. But no matter who voted, everyone chose Ally.
Of course, why wouldn't you at this point?
And now all of us have enough to leave.
Even Dio! I was stunned. How would everyone cooperated long enough to resolve our VP past 9? We're in the endgame, so there's no reason not to at this point. Was it because Akane had been killed? Without a death to start things off, maybe we'd be less suspicious of each other. That is fair. Or could the bombs have had something to do with it? We'd all joined forces against Dio, and Phi and I had been able to disarm all of them. All of us had banded together against a common enemy and overcome a tremendous threat. Perhaps that had strengthened our bond. Yeah, no, I agree. We can leave Dio. Which I have to admit would be somewhat ironic. After all, Dio had planted the bombs that forced us all to work together against him. This must have been what Akane was talking about.
Haven't I told you death was unavoidable? Sacrifices had.
Come on, let's go! Let's open the door and get out of here!
Wait. What about him? After some discussion, we decided to leave Dio behind. Alice was the only holdout. She complained about wanting to take him back to her superiors, but after I mentioned they'd come back to investigate after we escaped and deal with Dio then, she reluctantly complied. Let's go on an adventure, please.
Let's get going.
Even Robot Luna said we should get rid of Dio. Even Robot Luna said leave him behind. I doubt that. Also, I have terrible news for you all. Your boy's gotta go to the bathroom. So I think I'm gonna do that right now. I will be a few minutes because I have to wash my hands and all that jazz, so give me a second, I'll be right back. And don't you sass me, my man, don't you sass me. I know what you're gonna say, don't you do it. Yes! Babe, yes! Babe, first of all, they're washed. Suck it. Second of all, babe, oh my gosh. I love Akane in the first game. Is this the right ones? That's a wiki link. Oh my goodness, that's fine. The point still stands. I can get the image from here. Yeah, I can reach the image from here. I'm not looking. Oh, you just wanted the old lady one? Oh, you said old Akane. I'm not looking at any words. Don't worry, Ryan. I am not looking at a single word. Have no fear. Have zero fear, because there might be more. Who knows? There might be more spoilers for future games. So I'm not looking at a single word on the page. No, I don't want to when she's old. Well, someone has to send me that then, because I can't do that. I can't Google that myself. It might be spoilers. So someone has to do that. Someone has to do that for me then. Okay, cool. Does that work? Let me see. I think it does. It does work. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Continue downloading. Exit Chrome. All right. Boom. Oh, I still have these up. Ah, frick. Hold on. That's spoil. Ignore those. No. Remove. Yes. No more of yours, Ryan. Dirt Squirrel. No more. Remove. Remove image. All right. So, because Priscilla is a dork and she loves to do this to me, not image slideshow. No, image. Any others? Add new source. Red. It was great. It was great, but this is not the one. It is not the day. It is the day for this, apparently, because this is what we're doing now. So here we are. This is old Akane. Old Grandma Akane is lame and dumb and stupid. She's old, and I don't like old people. And, she's old. And so as a result, she will be getting the same treatment that I give Twilight Princess Zelda, but much to the more extreme, because old people are not... I am ageist, yes. I only... Let it be taken on the record that I am only attracted to roughly my age. Go figure. I mean, that's not even true. There are celebrities that are like 10, 15 years older than me that are attractive. But, like, Akane's not. As an old woman, she's not. And that's fine. No. I would never. I love Priscilla, and I will love her forever and ever and ever. I would never. But Akane, when she's old, yeah, no thanks, ma'am. No thanks. Now, however, I would like to draw your attention. I know you didn't ask for this, Priscilla. No, it's not what's happening. No, I do not hate old people. However, you can't... See, the problem is I have this as a comparison, and this Akane is really cute. I like this Akane a lot. I like her little dress. I like her boots. I like her. I think she's great. Old Akane is fine, and I'm still emotionally connected to her, although she is a little psychotic in this game. But this one's better. She's got cute little boots and whatnot, and I like her a lot more. And, hey, she didn't commit biological warfare, so that's a plus. But yeah, old Akane will receive, for the emotional connection, she will receive a 3 waifus out of 10. Akane gets like a solid, she's not quite Sayaka level, so I'll put her 1 below. I'll put her at 7 waifus, 7 of them out of 10. But there you go. She set up 2 murder games. No. Yes, but no, because the first one wasn't actually a murder game. People didn't actually have to die except for the 4 people that tried to murder, 16 children, 18 children. So, that's a little bit of comeuppance, but, this Akane only murdered 3 people, and those 3 people were fully prepared. They kidnapped and tried to murder 19 or 18 children. This Akane, yeah, she's committed biological warfare and has tried to kill people, and that's lame, and we don't like that, but it's fine. Is this good? Does this suffice? That was probably the smoothest. Okay, let me know if you all see it. Let me know if I'm back. I think I'm back. Nightbot's back, certainly. I'm alive! Whee! Okay, hold on. Hold on. Okay, we're back. Everything's back. Cool, 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 cool. Cool, cool, cool. Cool. Oh, cool, 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 cool. Let me try opening the game again. Okay. We are now going to attempt to open the game again. I don't know what happened. Streamlabs has updated a couple times in the last couple of days, and it's been real picky since then. But you can all still see me. Just someone give me a thumbs up or a confirm that you can see me again still. Thanks, Nightbot. Really what I wanted there. Cool. Sick. I saved the game and X'd out of it, so I have to reopen the game, but everything should be good. We should be back. Let me know if the game is weird or anything, but if no one says anything, I'm going to assume that the game is working fine and that everyone is happy, right? Still dead on mobile. Try refreshing a couple times. I mean, he can't hear me. I just realized if it's dead, he can't hear me, but yee. Like, I think it was a glitch. I think it was a glitch with the Streamlabs updater. I think it does something to the effect of, like, so let me explain, because this has happened when I tried to record the other day, too, is it just cuts out, like, your Streamlab, the way that Streamlabs looks is, I'm not going to show you the desktop, because that would just cause more chaos, but you've seen my desktop before on stream. It's like, the video previews up here, and then there's the notification bar for all the, like, activity. And then there's, like, the bottom page, which is, like, all my different stream, like, all my different sources, and, like, I can switch tabs to go to just me, or the game, or we, or all that stuff, right? So all that stuff is taking up the whole screen. The whole just top part with the preview just blacked out. The whole, like, all the way across the screen, not just the preview. So I think there's some kind of error with the update about, like, your stream key gets lost when you switch between apps too much or something, because I've had trouble with that before, or like the video cuts out or something. But we're back. We're good to go. You should just know all I did was... Oh, get rid of that. Yeah. All I did was I pushed A one time and she said, open the door. And I said, yes, I'll open the number 9 door. So here we go. We're opening the number 9 door. Grab the lever, pulled it down. And we're back. Everybody getting out. Everybody getting out. Here we go! The number 9 door has been opened. I hope Dio wakes up right now and goes, oh no! Alright, we're moving. Our whole squad rolling out, man. I didn't need to tell them twice. The room inside was clearly a loading elevator. It looked like a sort of large plate on top of a huge pedestal. We've already been through this door, so we already know this. We ran to the center of the plate and turned around. Number 9 door stood wide open.
2, 1, 0. The number.
And bada bing, bada with a squad of Dios. I mean, he is a clone. There could be a whole lot of them. It is a possibility.
The number 9 door has closed. This ends. Thank you. As the game.
Oh. Okay, here we go. Up we go into the Nevada desert or wherever the heck we are. I still want to know how June and Santa got a hold of the Nevada facility in the original game. Did they ever explain that? Did they just come into a lot of money? Like, how did that happen? There's still a lot of questions in the first game. How did Santa find all these people, track them all down? know where they would be, hunt them down, knock them out, carry them all. Like, it's just, there's a lot of questions. Santa's a little twinkie boy. I really doubt that he could have. I guess if your consciousness can jump between the past and the future, you probably could have.
Looks like we did it.
Regardless, Santa's a little twinkie boy. They ain't no way he was carrying Ace, you know? Him and June would struggle to carry Ace, I think, and Santa. Not Santa, Seven. Like, I doubt that, you know?
Yes, we should keep moving.
Beyond the door was a wide hallway that ended in a very solid wall. To the left, we found a very familiar looking door. We pushed it open to an in. Pressure exchange chamber.
You know what this place is?
Yeah, sort of. This whole facility is pressurized, apparently. I think the idea is to keep the air outside and consequently the virus from getting inside. That means if we want to go out, we have to decompress so we match the outside air pressure. We're all still infected, except for the ones that you cured, bro! This room here is where you prepare for going into the actual pressure exchange room. You see all the suits along the wall? I figure we need to put those on and head to the decompression room downstairs.
Whoa!
That is true.
Hold
If they
on
have
a
that
minute.
kind of money, why not?
You're saying the air outside is full of that horrible virus?
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Of course, according to Akane, we were all already infected with Radical 6, so the whole room seemed a little pointless.
Why? How did all this happen?
Did they?
No, that's not possible.
We've come this far. We can't turn back now. Let's go outside. There's no way to know what's really going on until we do.
All right.
Does anyone have Kay's key? Can we open him up? No one else objected. We all donned the protective suits and headed downstairs to the decompression room. As soon as we were all inside, the process began. Through my helmet, I could hear the soft hiss of air being sucked out of the room. Stood there for several minutes waiting for the process to finish. That door was welded shut. I would just like to point out that door was welded shut unless it was a different door. Unless this is a different exit. The door began to open. Beyond it was another decompression chamber. We repeated the process 2 more times before we reached the final door and opened it. There is a second chamber? Okay, cool. Red moon! Dead, bleak landscape wasn't a surprise for me. I'd seen it before in another timeline. The others hadn't, however, and although I couldn't see their faces through the visors of their helmets, I heard more than a few gasps over the radio. For a long few moments, we just stood there astonished.
Where the hell are we?
The desert, I guess?
I figured that out. I mean, which one?
I don't know, but I think I know what day it is.
Hmm?
Look at the moon. It's red, right? That means today's the total lunar eclipse.
So?
Remember the astronomy
But it
magazine
can't be!
Lounge?
Junpei's old!
Well, the next eclipse like this was gonna be on December 31st, 2028. So...
Wait a
But
minute.
Junpei and Akane are old!
Let me get this straight. Are you suggesting we were sleeping for a week after we were abducted?
I think so.
Wherever we were must have been far away from any city. The air was clearer than I'd ever seen it. And the stars, the sky was full of them. More stars than I'd ever seen in my life. I could even spot the hazy arm of the Milky Way. But the most striking feature was the moon. It was blood red and massive, much bigger in fact than I remembered it being. Then as I watched, a black spot began to move across its surface. It was hard to see details, but it looked circular. The spot continued to move across the moon, heading for the right edge. What's that?
The moon. Well, the moon's shadow, actually.
The moon's shadow? I frowned. That didn't make any sense.
Zero told me to stay quiet. I think he was worried I'd spill the beans on his operation. He said if I didn't toe the line, he wouldn't just kill me. He'd kill Quark, too. And I agreed, like an idiot, and brought Quark with me. Just so I could see her. Such an idiot. So, that being the case, might as well start with this. I meant what I said before. That up there is the moon's shadow.
Are we on the moon?
Think about it. If that's the moon's shadow, then what's it falling on?
That That's Earth?
Yeah. It's not the red moon you get from a lunar eclipse. And again, this isn't a lunar eclipse. It's a solar eclipse. Anybody in the black spot down there is looking up at the moon covering the sun.
We're on the moon! No way! If that's the Earth, then where are we?
The moon, of course. This is the lunar surface. We were just inside a moon base. No way. No, you've got to be lying.
Luna should feel at home then. Alright, alright.
How do you expect us to believe that? This can't be the moon.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. Besides, if this was the moon, how do you explain the gravity? The moon only has 1/6 of the Earth's gravity. So what's this?
She picked up a rock and dropped it.
See? That looked perfectly normal.
Yes, it looked that way.
Oh my gosh, because we're processing things slowly. No, because they're cured of the Radical 6, so that doesn't make sense. Luna?
You were right about the gravity in a way.
Oh my gosh.
I was one of the people who knew this wasn't Earth. Well, I suppose I'm not people, if we're being honest, but
Excuse me? What?
Alice is now the, what's her name, from the Lotus from the first game, where everyone's just talking about all this time leaping and history and truths and morphogenetic fields and all this crap, and she's just sitting there like, what? What are we talking about? What is going on?
please just listen. Alice, you were infected with Radical 6. Then we gave you the Excelivir, which cured you. The Radical 6 isn't completely gone.
Okay, good.
Some of its symptoms stick around for a while.
What symptoms?
Well, Radical 6 can slow down your brain's processing speed by the root of 1/6. It can take a while for your brain to get back up to speed. Every one of us has been infected. In other words, all of our brains have been processing information at a much lower speed. If you evaluated the root of 1/6, you'll get a number close to 0.408. That means our brains are running at something slightly less than half speed. As you said before, the moon's gravity is about 1/6 that of Earth's. The time that it takes for an object to fall is inversely proportional to the square root of the gravitational acceleration. Since the gravity is lower on the moon, that means the time increases. I guess that's a little technical. Let me give you an example. Say you drop an apple from a height of 4.9 meters. It will take approximately 1 second to hit the ground. On the moon, however, that time would be 1 second times root 6.
Explains the logic for all of the puzzles. What do you mean?
2.45 seconds.
What do you mean by that, Dirt Squirrel?
I used 4.9 meters because it matches up with the acceleration of gravity nicely, but it could be anything.
Yeah, there you go. Lore friendly too. There we go. There we go.
The gravity constant is, well...
It's hard for me to wrap my head around because when Sigma started to show symptoms, Phi's talking speed seemed like it was going fast. But if my brain is going slow, then I wouldn't be processing her words fast. But it's just hard for me to wrap my head around because I'm thinking, if my brain's going slow, then everything around me should go slow. But it's actually the opposite. If your brain is going slow, everything around you is going fast. Because the fast is the normal speed, and what you are hearing, what you are seeing as fast, is just your brain slowly trying to process it. It's just really confusing. This is just a confusing idea to me that I've struggled with the whole game, and I think I kind of get it, and I'm willing to, like... This explanation helps, but it's something that I've struggled with for the whole game.
10 centimeters or 10 meters, and it would be the same. Does that make sense? So, now we've established that on the moon, things fall root 6 times slower than they do on Earth. That being the case, what would happen if someone's brain slowed down by root 1/6? To them, 2.45 seconds...
Okay, yeah, I get it. Seconds are
not
not seconds.
hypothetical. That's what's been happening to every one of us. Wait, you're saying that's the reason we didn't notice the weaker gravity? Are you sure you didn't notice anything? Think back. Huh? You and Sigma and Phi said something about it in the lounge. About how you felt weird.
Oh my gosh.
It's kind of like my body isn't really mine.
That's wild. That's wild.
Like that?
Seemed insane, but what Luna said made sense. In fact, it explained PHI's apparently superhuman strength quite well. Oh my gosh, and that's why she can jump so far! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's the lore. She's not a robot, she is in fact on the moon. Dang flabbit, Bobby.
Wait, this is crazy. That can't possibly be Earth out there. Look at it. I've seen photos of Earth, and it's blue and green and beautiful. That thing is just red.
Before we get into that, I should probably tell you something.
Okay.
This isn't New Year's Eve in 2028.
Is it 21, 28?
Today is January 27th.
In 29?
No.
Don't tell me. 30?
Still no.
Then just what year is this?
It's 74. 2074.
My man just said it's been 56 years, or 46 years. My man just said, you've been here 46 years, y'all. More than 45 years ago.
I don't blame you if you don't believe me, but it's the truth.
How can you be sure?
It's not that hard. Quark and I left Earth on January 23rd, 2074. Solar eclipses are easy to predict. We've known that there'd be one on the 27th for a long time. That's just science. Nobody can change that.
But why is the Earth red?
Wild.
That's a long story. About 45 years ago, on April 13th, 2029, there were 18 annihilation reactors operating in various parts of the world. On the 13th, all 18 of them went up.
Oh my gosh! It's that episode of SpongeBob where all the red friggin' juice
The
sprays
explosion
on the
was
whole
about
boat home. Oh my gosh.
180,000 times as powerful as the atom bomb they dropped on Hiroshima. I
Why?
suppose it started a few months before that. The government had a test site for a future Mars mission out in the middle of Nevada. On December 31st, 2028, there was an accident. Well, accident doesn't quite convey the right sense of the thing. The point is, Radical 6 claimed
Oh,
its first
boy.
victims there, then escaped. Didn't take long for it to spread to the rest of the world. Like Luna explained, the virus slows your brain down, but eventually, it also makes you kill yourself. Pretty soon, the bodies started to
Oh
pile
my
up.
gosh.
Some people would take a dive off a building or shoot themselves in the head. You know, the classics.
Don't call it the
But
classics,
for some, it
please.
was poison or fire or asphyxiation or the noose. Plenty of people jumped in front of trains or cars. One pilot on a passenger airline drove
Oh
his
my
plane into
gosh.
the ground. Most forms of transportation ground to a halt pretty fast. That meant food couldn't get distributed, and thousands of people who weren't even infected died from starvation. Everywhere you went, there were just piles of corpses, covered in flies and rats and crows.
My
I
god.
don't know what hell's like, but I imagine it's a lot like that. After a while, people who managed to avoid getting infected started trying to get in touch with one another.
Pretty much,
They got
yeah.
hold of some radios and organized a couple meetings. There was only one thing to discuss, of course. How could they get rid of Radical 6? The answer, they decided, was purification. They figured they could just roast the surface of the Earth and that'd kill the virus off for good. On April 13th in 2029,
Oh my
they put their
gosh.
plan into effect. That plan was to detonate all 18 annihilation
Okay, I'm
reactors.
no longer gonna call this coronavirus, because I don't think nuking the Earth is the way to, solve coronavirus. Even though most countries have solved it except ours, because we're dumb. Anyways.
Now the truth is, that's mostly just rumor. Nobody really knows what happened, but I've got my own theories. I think that the bombers had already been infected, and when they died, they took billions with them. The ultimate if I die, you're coming with me gesture, I suppose. I'd bet you money they'd all lost it long before they got to the reactors. Killing most of the world, no matter how bad things had gotten, was not a sane plan, even if it wasn't directly responsible. Radical 6 killed most of the people on Earth. Anyway, why it happened isn't that important. The point is, it happened.
This feels like V3's plot line, but if it actually happened. you know? Like, the whole thing of V3 is we don't know if it actually happened, but this one actually happened. Like, yeah, Junpei's been through a crap ton of stuff.
You ever heard of nuclear winter? Well, that's basically what we got. The explosions threw a ton of crap up into the stratosphere, where it joined up with smoke and ash from all the fires. It blotted out the sun for 7 years. Plants withered and animals died by the millions.
How did you survive a nuke when they nuked the Earth? That's
The
my
few humans who
question.
were left banded together to survive. They were rough times. Eventually, they were over, though. The sky cleared and the sun came back. Plants started blooming again, and the animals that hadn't died out completely began to reappear. Things weren't quite back to normal, though. It's been 45 years now, but there's still quite a bit of dust and ash in the air. That's what you're seeing. You know why a sunset's red? Well, this is the same thing. Blue and green light have short wavelengths, and they scatter when they run into debris in the air. Red light, on the other hand, has a longer wavelength, which means it'll get a lot farther when the air is dirty.
That does. That does. Why root beer's rare? Oh my gosh, that's wild.
So there you are. The Earth looks red because that's the only color of light that can make it through the
And
atmosphere.
that explains why Junpei adopted Quark, because his parents probably died. And he just saw this baby and just said, I gotta help it. Oh my gosh. So me and Kay are twins or brothers or clones or something. Are we part of like a repopulation effort? Like they formed us? I just have to wonder. What could I possibly say? There was no reason for Tenmyoji to lie to us. So we were standing on the moon, looking at the Earth. It was 2074, but why? Why were we there? Why were we then? I was so lost in thought I barely noticed Phi's approach.
Hey, Sigma, I think I figured something out.
A window popped up in the inside of my helmet with Whisper in the corner. She seemed to be using a circuit only we could hear. Yeah? What is it?
Figured out why there's an extra E.
An extra E in 9th Lion, yeah. Oh, you mean the graffiti?
Yeah, the one on floor B. I think it's an anagram, just like on floor A.
Here comes Phi with her crazy anagram skills. What's Anna say this
God
time?
damn it, Sigma! Knock it off!
Calm down, it was a little
Memento mori if the 9th lion ate the sun. If you rearrange the letters, you get...
Alright, here we go.
The man on the moon rules the infinite time. See? You need 6 E's to get that, so they stuck an extra one in 9th.
The man on the moon rules the infinite time.
I think it's a message for us from Zero Senior and Akane. Remember what she was telling us?
Right? She's been thinking about it the whole time.
We created the AB project for one purpose: to transport the consciousnesses of 2 people into the past. Though
Yeah, it's us. So what are you getting at?
My God, you're slow. You don't get it? They're saying we rule the infinite time. Infinite time. They weren't just talking about having us jump a couple hours. I think they're planning to send us back. Way back.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you think they're gonna send us back 45 years?
Yeah. I'd bet on it.
So the ultimate purpose of the AB project is to send us back in time to that catastrophe Tenmyoji was talking about.
I think so.
That doesn't make sense, though. I mean, we came from that same time period before it, actually. So why bring us here and then send us back?
Well, Akane should be able to tell us the rest. Let's go pay her a visit.
Do you know where she is?
I've got an idea. Come on, think. Remember what she said when she gave you the key?
to flee.
Oh! The one in the garden! There's a keyhole! I forgot there was a keyhole in it!
Well, come on, what are you waiting for? Let's go.
We can't. Can we go back inside? Turn Rain back into the pressure exchange chamber, the others following close behind.
What are you doing? Did you forget something?
We're going to go have a talk with somebody.
Who?
You really need me to spell it out? Person behind
You
all
mean
this.
Akane?
What?
I'll take that as a yes. Let me accompany you then.
What?
Wait, why do you know about Akane?
I'll tell you when we get there. Now, if you please.
Is that his
I'm
mom?
coming with you.
Is Akane the mother figure? Was he raised by Santa and Akane's his mother figure lady?
You folks just said the magic word.
I'm going to then. So am I.
Hey, is this Akane you're talking about?
Yeah, you know her real well.
Wait, you're serious?
Hi, Junpei.
What the hell is going on?
Hi, Junpei. Just shut up. Come if you want to. We don't need to do a roll call. Once we get there, Akane can explain everything. With that, we headed back through the airlock. Oh my gosh! This went places. Yeah, there was no way I was getting through that yesterday. There was no way. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, it was good. I think it was good to separate it. Do the escape room, defuse the bombs, do all that stuff. Get the Luna end, defuse the bombs, do all that, and then come here and do this. I think this was a good idea.
Ah, clever. The number 9 door on floor A is shut forever once the game ends. Assuming Zero Jr. was telling the truth, of course. But the door on floor B...
Yeah, thought we might be able to take the lift to it. And it looks like I was right.
Wow.
Any idea?
The grave.
You mean the grave in the garden?
Yeah, don't worry. I don't think she's buried there or anything. Chances are she's alive. Just in the grave. Anyway, let's move! To the garden! Yes, I know how to get to the garden, thank you very much.
Is Akane really under here?
Plot twist, Akane's a vampire. No, I think so.
What should we do? Are we gonna dig her out?
No, I don't think we'll have to do anything like that. You see the keyhole in the grave? If I just insert this here. Wow, Sigma, you have dad shoes. Wow. Pull the key off my ankle and fitted it into the hole. Okay, I twisted it the right till I heard something unlock. Quiet grinding, the grave began to shift. Oh my gosh.
What is this?
It doesn't look like a coffin.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a treatment pod.
Oh my god.
It is, isn't it?
Glass on the cover frosted over, making it opaque. We couldn't see who or what was in it.
Let's see what's inside.
Grab to hold the lever on the side of the pod.
No good. I think it's locked.
What?
Treatment pod TP00. Stage 1. Defrosting complete.
Defrosting! So someone's frozen in there.
Stage 2 will be complete.
And I don't think it's Akane, because
in
Akane
10
did
minutes.
age.
Once stage 2 is complete, the lock will automatically disengage.
Right, cold sleep.
What?
These pods can put people into cold sleep. Uses something called cast to freeze human bodies without destroying their cells.
Miss Akane's like an ice cube?
I think so.
And we gotta wait till she melts?
Yeah.
So how about you tell us your story while we
Yes,
wait, Kate?
please.
Specifically, why do you know Akane?
I remembered.
What do you remember?
Everything. I was born and raised in this facility. It's called Rhizome 9. A rhizome is an underground plant stem that spreads by sending out roots. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? This facility is a little like a rhizome. Supposedly, that's why they call these installations that. The number comes from the facility's number. There are 54 rhizomes on the moon, and this is the 9th one.
Of course it is.
Well, I suppose the other ones don't really matter to you, do they? In any event, I grew up here with Akane and Zero Senior. I watched them create the AB project.
The AB project?
Yes. Its purpose is to send Phi and Sigma, or their consciousnesses at least, to the past.
Back 45 years, right?
Yes.
So, you want us to change history, huh? Go back and keep Radical 6 from getting out, and stop the reactors from exploding. That's our mission?
Well, not exactly.
What do you mean?
It's true that the ultimate goal of the project is to keep Radical 6 from spreading to the general population. But even if you do make it back, you won't be able to do much. By now, it's already too late.
Too late?
What do you mean?
Let me begin at the beginning. You might be thinking that Zero Senior and Akane were the ones who created all this, but that's not entirely correct. They only followed the histories they'd already seen. It was the only choice they had. Nothing less than the future of mankind is at stake. We need the two of you to jump through timelines while maintaining your memories. That is why you had to play the AB game, and why the chromatic doors were necessary. By forcing multiple options, you could make numerous jumps. We speculated that jumping more would strengthen your memories.
Fascinated.
The puzzles were also there for a purpose. Some theories hold that a moment of insight when you solve a puzzle strengthens your connection to the fourth dimension. That was the reason for the puzzles. Your infection with Radical 6 was also a vital part of our plan. By slowing down your brain's processing speed, we can store your potential. With that energy stored up, we just had to provide a life-or-death situation to launch your consciousness into the fourth dimension. Like a bullet from a slingshot.
Wait, hold on just a minute here. You keep talking about Sigma and Phi, but what about the rest of us? Why did you bring us here?
That's simple. In earlier histories, you were all here in Rhizome 9. We needed you here to accurately replicate those histories.
What?
Although I suppose that's probably not a good enough explanation for you. In a sense, though, it is the truth. Our primary goal was to replicate history. The rest is... Yes, I suppose I should explain.
Thank you.
Very well. I will try and do so in a way you can understand. First, Alice and Clover. They were abducted 45 years and 1 month ago, on December 22nd, 2028. The location is Earth, of course.
Welcome back, babe.
More specifically, Los Angeles, California, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
After being kidnapped, your bodies were sent to a facility under Akane's direction. You were placed in treatment pods and immediately put into cold sleep. 4 months later, you arrived at this facility. The date you finally arrived was April 14th, 2029.
Okay.
Your trip from Earth to this facility was aboard a spaceship powered by an annihilation engine.
Okay.
Following your arrival, your pods were placed in long-term storage. Does that make sense?
Are you telling me we were sleeping in those pods here for 45 years?
Well, you were already, like, in a coffin for, like, 100 and something, so, you know.
Yes, in preparation for this day.
But why? What do you need us for?
You are an Esper, aren't you, Clover? I mean that you are able to access the fourth dimension. Am I wrong?
Did Akane tell you?
In a manner of speaking, as I've already explained, the purpose of this project is to send Sigma
Right?
and
They
Phi's
must be hungry,
consciousnesses to
man.
the past. Espers are able to sort of resonate with one another, which can amplify their power. You understand? This is why we brought you here, Clover.
What about me?
We needed your help, Alice, to deactivate Dio's bombs.
Huh? But I didn't do anything.
But you did. In another history, you were able to perform a prime decomposition on the 25-digit integer that Dio left behind.
I forgot about that.
Only you could do that sort of thing. Because of your feat of mathematics, we were about to determine that Dio had planted the bombs.
We're able to.
Then we
but-
were able to question him and get the password for the number 31. Finally, we used that information to stop the bomb in this timeline.
Wow, good. Okay. Good switching
Without
words.
your
yeah.
help, Alice, we would have been reduced to nothing more than so much space dust. This history exists because of your presence. Now, let me explain why we needed Tenmyoji.
Yeah, why did they bring Snake? I mean, he's blind. That's true, because he couldn't be hot. I heard a thing. So yesterday I started watching a playthrough of this game because I figured it was safe enough to start at the beginning of a playthrough. Given how far I am into it now, and I knew I was finishing it today. And someone mentioned the fact that Alice and Clover's outfits are a response from the director of the game. That Spike Chunsoft told the director of the game, no, you can't make this game as violent and as gory as you want it to be. And so in response, he made them overly sexual, like overtly sexualized. And I kind of find that hilarious, and I kind of actually like that. He's like, fine, you won't let me make it this kind of messed up, then I'll make it this kind of messed up. Suck it.
Tenmyoji is simple. We needed you for the same reason we needed Clover. You are able to access the fourth dimension. Almost half a century ago, you used that ability to save a young girl.
I don't know if that's true, but...
Yeah, I did.
We needed you to resonate with Sigma and Phi. So we brought you here. All it took was a messenger.
Do you want to see Akane? If you do, come with me. I was a fool and fell for it.
And you brought Quark with you. In fact, you insisted that he come.
Yeah, I know. I guess you were worried about leaving me alone, huh? He kept saying he couldn't run off to the moon and leave me behind.
This is from the past. Oh, that's pretty good, honestly. That's pretty good.
Sorry, Quark. If I hadn't been so stupid and selfish, none of this would have happened to you. I never thought this would happen. Can you ever forgive me?
Oh, don't worry about it. I mean, I agreed to come with you. I thought the moon would be way more interesting than boring old Earth. What kid would turn that down?
We didn't see the messenger after we got on the ship. It was on autopilot. As soon as we got in, it headed straight for the moon.
This always happens with his mouth. It's just how it's
During
animated.
the trip, Zero told me to keep quiet once we got there.
It's just their talking animations are weird.
I don't remember anything after we landed.
Then there was a bunch of that white smoke, and we passed out, and when I woke up, I was in the AB room.
Now, Dio, his real name is Left, and he's the leader of a terrorist organization called the Myrmidons. He was ordered to come here. The Myrmidons are under the control of an organization called Free the Soul, which is in turn controlled by a man known as Brother. It was Brother who orchestrated the release of Radical 6 into the general population 45 years ago. Do you remember what Phi mentioned earlier? The ultimate purpose of the AB project is to change history and keep Radical 6 from being released. If we succeed, that would be bad for Brother and his organization. Our success would prevent them from creating the ideal world they're working toward. That is why Brother sent Left, his trusted lieutenant, to this facility. They needed to stop the AB project. So, Dio was given two tasks. The first was to eliminate Akane, the architect of the AB project. The second was to join the AB game and win it.
Wild.
If Dio won the game, the AB project would not be completed. At least, not in that timeline.
And he won like 3
In other
times,
words,
didn't he?
in that world, the project would have been stopped. If things didn't go as planned, Dio was given a contingency plan. If you cannot murder Akane and win the game, destroy Rhizome 9. Hence, the bombs.
And the bombs only appeared when we couldn't. The bombs only appeared on a timeline where we didn't find Akane dead in the room, thereby meaning that he didn't. I think this was the timeline we found the old woman. And I don't think there's any... Yeah, there's no bombs in this timeline. That's wild! In the timeline where we found Akane's dead body, there was no bombs. In every other timeline, there were bombs. That's wild! Oh my gosh.
Can I ask you
This
something?
game is so smart!
Perhaps.
How did Brother know about the AB project?
He was also an Esper. We can set Brother aside for now, though.
Santa? Not Santa. Snake? Brother is Snake? No, you haven't.
May I proceed?
I'm intrigued. No one objected, we were all curious.
Excellent. That explains everyone, save two, Luna and myself.
Okay.
Sigma and Phi already know the truth about Luna. I don't believe I should reveal any more, however. I think it would be more appropriate if you could ask Luna yourselves at a later time. Would that be all right with you, Luna?
Yes, that's okay.
As for me, as I said before, I was born and raised here. The rest of you were brought to this facility, but I've never left.
Then why do you look like Smee?
That makes me someone close to Zero Senior and Akane.
Hey, I've been wondering, who is Zero Senior?
You've already met him, Sigma. In another timeline.
Yeah. Well, I saw a hologram. I still don't know who he is.
Stage 2 is complete. TP00.
I think this is gonna be Zero
Unlocking.
Senior.
It
don't
looks
think
like
it's
it's
gonna be
finished.
Akane.
Shall we open the pod?
Yeah, let's do it. I think it's gonna be Zero Senior or Young Akane, but I don't understand how Young Akane could be here, so I think it's Zero Senior. All of us gathered around the pod. The glass was still covered with frost, hiding the contents.
Okay, let's get started then. Ready?
Phi laid her hand on the lever and looked around at us. I swallowed. Yeah,
All
in
right,
time.
here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. What the freak game? No! 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 I have to go to the bathroom again, but no! Game! Why? Why is it also me? Why is it me again? Why is everyone me? I'm going potty. I'll be back. Oh my. Babe, everyone is me and I hate it. Oh my gosh. You're Sigma. I'm Sigma. Are there any other Sigmas I should know about in here? Meow, says Sigma with his cat tick. Oh my goodness. Alright, let's keep going. Let's keep going, I guess. My head is full of memories from the other timelines. They're clean. Shush your lips, man. I'd seen something like this before. The warehouse of floor B. In front of the white door. Kay was lying in front of me. I grabbed his mask and saw it was me. I never figured out who he really was. Why was there a man with my face underneath Kay's armor? Didn't make sense. After I'd seen him, I was injected with 2 Mercurine, and that was the end of that. But wait, if the person in the pod was the same person I'd seen on the floor of the warehouse, who was wearing Kay's armor, who was flickering the lights? That's 2 SpongeBob references in a 30-second span.
You finally noticed. Didn't I tell you? You won't be alone. I will be at your side, watching over you.
Shut your mouth! Shut your mouth! No! No, you are not! No, you are not! No, you are not Akane. No, 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 no,
Yes,
no, no, no,
I
no,
am.
no, 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 game? Bruh. Bruh. I can't believe I didn't see that coming. I cannot believe I didn't. Wow, game. Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay, so now the question becomes, you were the one murdered with an axe? And you were the one that left on all the different timelines? Girl.
It's you.
Kei Kurashiki, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I'm so mad. I'm so mad, dude.
June. I mean, Akane from... But you're old.
Yes, that's correct. I haven't spoken to you in a very long time, Clover.
What the freak is happening?
Or you, Junpei.
Also, it's really freaking cold, so I'm putting on a jacket. Actually, I'm just gonna turn my air off, but yeah. Junpei, that's okay. Well, there we go. That's we know who everyone is. We know what's going on. We know who we all are. Okay.
Junpei?
Akane, long time no see.
Oh my gosh. I hate this, but I love it. Wow, I hate it. I could barely hear what they were saying. Meanwhile, Sigma's over here like, I'm in the tank. Why am I in the tank? Someone explain why I'm in the tank, please. Poor Sigma's just like so confused right now. My mind was still reeling. Felt like all the air had been knocked out of me, and it was all I could do to not collapse right then and there. Well, I thought it was on auto.
When do
Oh, it
you
was. It just takes
remember
forever.
when the 2 of you saved me in the warehouse?
Oh my gosh.
Once you saved me, you went back to your future. Well, your minds did, at least. I carried your bodies to the 3rd AB room, and then took Dio's to the 5th.
Uh-huh.
After that, I went into the 1st room and borrowed Kay's armor.
So by the time you and Clover came out, you'd already...
Yes.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Dio killed you, and then Luna took your body to the 6th room. You couldn't have been in Kay's armor.
No, it was me. In this timeline, at least. In this one, I wasn't murdered by Dio.
Yep, the K ending. The K ending is in a history where she was murdered by Dio.
You two saved me.
The K and Luna endings are both in that branch where she was murdered by Dio. Oh my
It's
gosh,
just
this
like
game is so smart.
Schrodinger's cat.
This game is so smart.
Your actions in the future decided who would be inside the armor in the past.
No, that's nuts.
Alright, what about the other history? The one where you weren't saved. What happens then? Who's wearing the armor?
That's quite simple. The man in front of you.
Him?
That's correct. Whenever I'm not in the armor, he is.
What about the memory loss?
For my part, I confess that I lied. He, on the other hand, was telling the truth.
So he is the one that was working with them then. Because the K ending is where he told us all about his history, that stuff that he just spilled. So yeah.
Large doses of soporil can cause memory loss. I gave him a rather large dose.
So, who is he?
You've never seen him before?
No.
What about the rest of you?
I have no idea who he is.
I've never seen him before.
Me either.
Total stranger.
Come on, what are you guys saying? Right here? Same face?
Huh? Huh?
Are you all right, Mr. Sigma? Did you hit your head or something?
Huh? What? Didn't make any sense. Why didn't they recognize me?
Sigma, your consciousness can jump through time. You can inhabit your body in the past or in the future.
What does that mean?
Don't you get it? You've jumped to the future. From 45 years ago.
Looked around frantically. A pond. I ran to it and threw myself down on my knees. Don't you do this to me. Falling on all fours, I approached the edge. My heart was hammering inside my chest. Cold sweat trickled down my spine. Calm down, calm down, calm down. Struggled to take deep breaths. Then slowly. Am I zero? Am I zero, senior? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What? What?
It's your face, Dr. Sigma Climb.
That's why she called him Doctor. That's why she called him Doctor. And in the K ending, he said something to the effect of... Oh my gosh. He said something to the effect... K at one point said something to the effect of, like, you're another one or something. Oh my gosh, that's why he doesn't have a voice. Because he does have a voice. Oh my gosh.
Although, to the you that's behind it now, it's your face 45 years from now. Zero, the mastermind of the AB project, is you.
What? No, that's not possible. That's BS. Your reason to become a current. No!
No, it's the truth. Fighting it isn't going to do you any good. Please, Doctor.
I'm not a doctor. Oh my gosh.
You will be a pioneer in the field of genetic engineering.
You're lying.
No, I'm not. You created him. Well, I suppose I should say you are going to create him.
Oh, this is confusing.
His name is Kyle Climb, your clone. That is why he looks just like a younger version of yourself. 23 years ago, in the biolab here in Rhizome 9, you created Kyle. Well, I suppose for you, that's still in the future.
His name is Milk backwards.
When I said I was born and raised here, I was still pretending to be him. The gravity here is only 1/6 of Earth's. If nothing was done, the reduced gravity would cause his bones to be weaker than normal human ones. But you prepared for that.
Robot arms.
You gave him that
Oh, no,
armor.
that. Okay, got it.
Ever since he was born, he's lived inside.
So that Baby K was not a lie. Baby K in the armor was actually canon. I love that.
It kept his muscles and bones strong.
So why do I have robot arms?
He wasn't forced into it for the nonary game. He's been wearing it every day, all his life.
But why would future me create a clone?
He was to be your spare. If something happened to you before the project began, he would take your place. I mentioned before that the AB projects A and B stood for after and before. That isn't all they mean, though. The A also means anima, and the B
Anime
means
body.
body. Anima is another word for the soul or the consciousness. Body is, well, exactly what it says on the tin. The past consciousness will go into the future body, and the future consciousness will go into the past body. They switch. That was the chief goal of the project.
Oh my gosh. So future person goes into the past person?
Sigma, do you remember the note you found in the garden?
You mean this, right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Ah, of course, it was you who investigated the garden in this
Oh my
timeline.
gosh.
Yeah.
Sigma, take a good look at this. It's an illustration of the time jumps your consciousness is making.
Oh boy. Oh boy. So I am the frick. Okay.
A is where everything began. December 25th, 2028. You inhaled the white smoke in your car and lost consciousness. From there, you jumped to B. January 25th, 2074. You woke up in one of the AB rooms in Rhizome 9.
Oh my gosh. Shut up. You're not wrong, Ryan, but oh my gosh.
You are in your own body, but it is 67
That's why Phi calls
years
us
old.
Grandpa.
Your consciousness has jumped 45 years into the future. I believe that may explain why you didn't notice the reduced lunar gravity. The body you woke up in was much older. Normally, you would have noticed that your muscles were much weaker. In this case, however, the lower gravity balanced that out.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Stop. Does this all really happen? I love that.
Moving on, if you continue along this line, what happens next?
Oh my gosh.
You reach C, which is January 27th, 2074.
People don't trust your eyesight? Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to go back and watch people play this game now. I'm so excited to see all these references and stuff.
That is today.
Whoa.
I'm already catching stuff, like a lot of Luna being a robot stuff I'm picking up on, but wow.
Wait, what do you mean? Are you saying it's been 2 days since we woke up?
36 hours to be exact. Have you already forgotten? You were all infected with Radical 6. The virus slowed your brain down, so yes, 36 hours of real time have passed. But to you, it only seemed like 14 hours and 40 minutes. Now comes the important part. After this, your consciousness will return to the past.
I'm trying to trace it. It's really hard to trace.
It will re-emerge at point D. April 13th, 2029. You will return to your younger body.
But that's the same day as the reactor explosions.
Yes. That is why I said it will be too late. You will return to the past, but the events you would want to prevent will have already happened. The story does not end there, however. The line continues. After reaching point D, you will eventually return to B. But this time, You won't be jumping through time, or at least not at a rate faster than normal. Your consciousness will spend 45 years inhabiting the same body until you reach point B. Do you remember when B is Sigma?
January 25th, 2074. Remember what you just told us 36 hours ago.
Correct. That was when the consciousness of the 22-year-old Sigma jumped into the body of 67-year-old Sigma.
Sorry, Priscilla's excited because the new Taylor Swift album has immediately just dropped like 1 minute ago. So I'm texting her and being like, have fun.
So where did the older version of you go when you took his body?
Hey, December 25th, the day all this started. Oh, shush. She's not here. We do not bully Taylor Swift.
Yes.
It is like Priscilla's diehard favorite music person. Oh, unless you genuinely just said who.
His consciousness will go back in time 45 years. For a period of time, he will inhabit your younger body.
Okay, no, you are being... Okay.
While your younger consciousness is elsewhere, he will be you in the past.
Once that body reaches point D, my 22-year-old conscious will come back from point C.
That's correct. When that happens, the older version of you will be ejected from your younger body and...
So it's rotating.
Rotating. I suppose you could put it that way.
Oh my gosh.
But look at this illustration closely. What if you take all these lines and untangle them?
I have no idea!
You get one single line.
Will I?
It may look complicated, but in truth, it's a single straight path, with one exception.
E. This line here at point E, right?
Exactly. Point E is December 31st, 2028, the day of the total eclipse.
Of the heart. The day Radical 6 got out of the test facility.
Yes, by now you've likely figured it out on your own. The purpose of the AB project was to get the consciousness of the 67-year-old Sigma from point B to point A.
Oh my gosh, third scroll.
If we can do that, we can change what happened 45 years ago.
Okay. So the old version of me will keep Radical 6 from getting out by jumping into my 22-year-old body on New Year's Eve 2028.
Yes, that is why this line could not be interrupted. In order for the 67-year-old version of you to reach point B, we first have to go through point D.
Wait. I'm still trying to trace this. This is a really confusing line. Yeah, it does work. So it splits off into two. That is wild.
In order to get to point D, we must jump from point C. And for point C to happen, we had to recreate everything that happened in this facility.
You're not recreating it if it happened. Like, I don't understand. Like, it's happening.
That is why we have faithfully retraced history.
I'm just confused by this. I'm just confused by this, right? Because it goes A, B, C, D, but it doesn't go to E. It goes A, B, C, D, B. I'm really confused by this. This is really hurting my head.
So that we might save humankind from
This
destruction.
is the whole, like, if you kill your father, will you exist? Like, it's just that whole
And
time travel
undo the
paradoxes.
horrors of the last 45
Like, these are just paradoxes. How can we recreate C if C hasn't happened? I'm jumping into my consciousness at the time of C. We're sending my consciousness to C so that it's young me living through old me's experience, but we're not recreating it if I'm living through. I'm just so confused. Tell me one thing.
What is that?
You said that point C and January 2034 just today. There's going to be a jump, and I'll jump to April 13th, 2029.
Yes, that's right.
But look, I'm still old. When is this jump supposed to happen?
Very soon. Yes.
Soon? What's going to trigger it?
We need potential energy stored to send your consciousness into the fourth dimension. Fortunately, we now have plenty of that.
For real though, he jumps from A to B in Killing Game, to Killing Game ending C, to Disaster, to setting up the Killing Game back to E. That helps, but I'm still confused. But that does help a little bit.
Thanks, ironically, to Radical 6. All that remains is to launch your consciousness.
That is very helpful, but I'm still confused.
Like a bullet from a slingshot.
How do you propose to do that?
Didn't I tell you? A crisis. A moment balanced between life and death. That can jumpstart your brain.
What do you mean?
You haven't figured it out. I mean this.
Oh, Gio's knife! No sooner were the words out of my mouth. Oh my gosh! I screamed and leapt toward them. Akane was already in motion, the knife diving towards Fi's chest. I was almost there. When I regained consciousness, I was on the floor. Nice. There was a dull pain in my chest. I felt for a cut, but something was in the way. It took a moment to realize that it was Akane's body lying on top of me. Twist my neck to look around. Nearby was an old tombstone. On it was written a few words in Latin. Tu fui, ego eres, what you are, I was. What I am, you will be. F you, game. Game, F you! No! No, F you, game. Wait, is that the end? No. No, is that the end? No. Akane Kurashigi, 22 years old. We haven't heard her yet, so that's not the end. Boom, boom. It's not the end. Easy. Easy. Easy money. You just gotta read the credits, baby. But also, what the freak? But also, what the freak, game? Why are you going so long on this? You watched Zero Time Dilemma? Alright. Well, we're not doing that next. The next game is Your Turn to Die, remember? We're playing that one first, and then we'll go to Zero Time Dilemma. Can't believe the game Leon'd me. Not only did the game Leon me, it also, like, V3'd me? This does not deserve to be such a bop. Kotaro Uchikoshi? Who's that? I didn't see the name. He wrote the game? Jeez Louise, he's a genius. I'm sorry, he's a genius. Like, that's insane. The Kodaka. More than Kodaka. I would say that he is even more intelligent than Kodaka to be able to write this. He's way more creative and intelligent. Like, holy crap, man. Kodaka's good, but like, jeez Louise. Alright, can we get to the point where, like... Can we get to the point where there's more to the game? There's gotta be more. Right? Don't tell me, but there's gotta be more. Thank you, jeez Louise. Jeez Louise, thank you. Yes, headquarters, April 13th, 2029.
Today is April 13th, 2029, and this is the evening news. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. I don't have any news to read. All of our station's reporters have passed after contracting Radical 6. So have my... Excuse me. I've managed to keep us on the air until now. But I'm out of tricks. It's time for me to sign off. This concludes our broadcast day. I pray that someday our world can be cleansed of this horrible plague. Goodbye.
Ah! The classic. For a moment, I just stared at the TV. The roar of the static seemed to fill the entire room until with a click it disappeared too. Had the power gone out? I heard footsteps behind me and turned around. You. Santa? Snake? Oh, it's my girl. Oh, it's my love. Oh, I love you.
It looks like the first step was successful.
You killed me!
Killed?
I guess technically you're going to kill me 45 years from now, but still!
Hey, no need to be rude about it. I didn't kill you. I hit you with the butt of the knife. You're fine.
I'm okay.
Yes, you and Phi needed to experience a state of crisis. That was the only way.
Me and Phi?
Yes.
I really kind of wish they tried to 3D model. Like, I respect not, but I wish they had.
I only told you about you, but we also needed Phi to jump. Now, you know what happens next, right?
We go to the moon?
Correct. We will be leaving tomorrow, April 14th, 2029. We've nearly finished preparing your shuttle.
It's weird to hear her voice again. I haven't heard it in a long time. It's weird. Like, I know it is the same voice, but it's weird to hear
Only a
again.
few last-minute checks and additions.
How far apart were these games made, Ryan? If you remember, can you tell me when all the games in this series were released? Because I'm curious.
You'll be traveling to Rhizome 9, along with 3 treatment pods.
Alice and Clover, right?
Yes.
What about the third one? Who's in there?
Phi. We put her into cold sleep 2 days ago. She appeared at our headquarters and volunteered to be frozen. That wasn't the Phi who jumped from Point C, though. It was Phi before she jumped from Point A to Point D.
999 is 2009.
In other words, she was following the same path you are, and she still is.
VLR was 2012. Yeah, 3 years. It's enough to not have the voice perfectly nailed down, but still know it pretty well. Zero Time Dilemma was 2016. It's so weird that these series that I've now fallen in love with, like Danganronpa, Zero Escape, all these series that I've now fallen in love with had games released, like, recently, and I just had no idea because I just didn't care.
Yes, the Point C version of Phi is sleeping in that pod. She'll stay there for the next 45 years, sleeping in ice.
Then when she gets to Point B, her consciousness will jump to Point A, right?
Correct.
Huh. So that's why she didn't look old. So why don't you just stick me in one of those pods?
We can't do that.
Why not?
You haven't figured it out? You have to spend the next 45 years working on the AB project.
After arriving at Rhizome 9, you must master genetic engineering and artificial intelligence programming, among other disciplines.
Imagine being signed up for college when you didn't want to.
Otherwise, you will be unable to create Kyle, Luna, and Lagomorph. And, of course, you will need to develop the chromatic doors and the bracelets.
You already did that!
You will also be the person who summons Tenmyoji and Quark.
45 years, I know, but that's just lame. You're basically told, hey, remember how you were working on a college paper? Well, guess what? Now you get to go to college for 45 years.
Once you've completed all the preparations, then the project can actually begin. January 25th, 2074. You will defrost Phi and carry her to the third AB room. Once you've done that, the 22-year-old version of you from point A will force you out, and you'll just go back 45 years to your own body on December 25th, 2028.
Okay, this makes sense now. I get it now. This has helped. But wow, and then I change history. Do you really think I can keep the virus from getting out?
You have to. If you don't, billions of people will die. Only you and Phi can save them.
What about you? Aren't you an Esper too?
I can't do anything on my own. If this is going to work, I'll need your help.
But like, why me? That's the thing, like, there's just no connection. Sigma's just some rando. Sigma and Phi are just some randos they found. That's just, what do I need to do?
What do you mean?
Like, what specific actions do I need to take? When Phi and I jump to point A, what are we going to do then?
You'll both enter the Mars mission test site.
And after that?
I don't know.
What?
I'm sorry. I really don't know anything about what happens in there. We don't know how the Radical Six escaped. We don't even know why it was there in the first place.
Ah, crap. Then we're screwed!
That's why we need your help. You have the ability to jump through time and across parallel worlds. We need you to figure out what happened in that test facility.
Oh my gosh, shut up.
Things will be difficult, and I'm sure you will find yourself in a great deal of danger. But I believe the two of you can overcome any obstacle.
Wait, how do you know it's so dangerous?
The 67-year-old version of you told me what happened. He wasn't able to stop the virus. So I suppose you could say you told me after you failed.
What did I say?
That the test facility is full of traps. There was one point. A woman's life was in danger. You risked yourself for her sake, and lost your arms and your right eye.
My arms and my right eye? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Suddenly a low rumble shook the building. Oh, I hate that image. What was that?
Go have a look.
It'd be the explosion, though. I moved slowly to the window and peered outside. Over the horizon, I could see a massive mushroom cloud climbing slowly toward the sky. The world really did be like boom. Would we really be able to change the course of history? No, that was the wrong way to look at it. It couldn't be a question. I had to change history. We could save the world. I'm going to change history. I stared at the darkening skies above us and steeled myself. I would succeed. And that's it. Wow. 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 Okay. There is. Okay, yeah. There is something else. Infirmary, another time. Something I get for doing everything on hard. Was it for doing everything on hard, or was it for getting all the gold files? Or is that what doing everything on hard is? I'm ready, though.
Where?
I see you've finally woken up, Kyle.
Kyle?
Ah, yes, of course. You've only just woken up in this timeline. It's only natural for some of your memories to be missing.
I lurched upright, jumped off the bed, and ran around to the other side of the partition. The mirror over the sink was covered with a film of dirt. I wiped it off with my sleeve, and my reflection stared back at me. There was no mistake. The reflection belonged to
Kyle Climb. So, I'm Dr. Climb? Zero Senior's clone?
What? How do you know that? Shouldn't you still be suffering from amnesia?
an excellent question, one I didn't quite know the answer to myself. I knew who Kyle Klein was. In another history, he had been called K and had worn a suit of armor. He hadn't just worn the armor in that history, though. Apparently he'd worn it all his life. Who was Troy Baker? Is that the voice of K? Or who is he that voice for? Kyle had been born and raised in this lunar installation, which seemed to be called Rhizome 9. Rather late in his life, Akane had appeared as a mother figure, and he had consequently grown very attached to her. The voice of Kyle and Sigma. Why, I know. What else is he in? What do I know him from? I knew everything about it. Even though I knew it, I didn't feel it. Was I really Kyle Klein? Every time I looked in the mirror, I saw his face. The spitting image of Sigma Klein in his younger days. I looked down. There was Dio still handcuffed. I turned back to Luna. Nathan Drake, okay.
What day is today?
January 27th, 2074.
Nolan North. Yeah, I don't think I know anything. Yeah, I don't think I would know anything, honestly. I might do some research.
And today is the last day of the AB project.
Yep, nope, never played Last of Us.
Akane has explained everything in the garden. And she drew a knife and attacked PHI. How long have I been asleep?
About 5 hours in real time. For them, it would have seemed like a little more than 2 hours.
So they still haven't been treated for their Radical 6?
No, they've all been given the antiviral. It just takes a while to have an effect.
I see. So the consciousness of the younger Sigma has gone back into the past. It should have happened right after Akane attacked PHI, right?
Yes.
Why am I here?
The doctor carried you back here. You were in the pod in the garden.
So the person you call the doctor is Sigma Klein, as inhabited by his age-appropriate consciousness.
Yes, but how do you know that?
Dio seems to have remained unconscious.
Yes. I've been administering Soparil whenever he gets restless.
What about the others?
They've all gone off to different areas.
A while.
Tenmyoji and Quark, for instance.
Oh, right! Mr. Klein!
So the sleepyhead's finally up, huh?
What are you two doing here?
You don't know where we are?
This is the upper floor of the pressure exchange chamber. The real one.
Mm-hmm.
We were just about to get dressed and head out.
You plan to return then? To Earth, I mean.
Yeah.
Sigma told us where we could find the shuttle that brought us here. Well, guess he's not really the Sigma I knew anymore. He's Dr. Klein now, or Zero Senior, depending on how you look at it.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Well, I'm just curious why you would choose to return to a devastated planet when you could stay here.
This is so weird.
How's staying here gonna help? You aren't gonna say something idiotic about how we should wait here until Sigma changes the past, are you? You can't wait for something that's already happened. Grammar doesn't work that way. Hell, nature doesn't work that way. You following me? We've already lived through history. Sigma failed to keep the virus from getting out. About 45 years ago, Radical 6 created a pandemic, and the antimatter reactors blew up. That all happened. Whatever Sigma does in the past, history's not going to change. In fact, it's because of what he did, or didn't do in the past, that we've got this past and present. Let me give you an example. Imagine a group of 100 motorcycles driving down an endless freeway. Eventually, they hit a junction. The road splits in two. One freeway continues off northwest, and the other stretches out to the northeast. So one guy, we'll call him S, pipes up. "Let's go northwest," he says. So they take the northwestern road. But about a mile past the intersection, something horrible happens. A semi driving the other way veers into their lane and plows through the bikers. 90 of them die. The surviving 10 are wounded, but survive. They don't stop, though. They keep riding down that highway, and eventually they'd gone 10,000 miles. Then suddenly, something happens that they couldn't have predicted. S, who had survived, suddenly has his consciousness thrown back in time. He ends up back in his own body just before they reach the junction. He remembers everything. So what does S do? What anybody would do. Let's go northeast. That means all 100 of the bikers survive to reach their destination, happy and healthy. And they all live happily ever after. That's what you're thinking, right? It's a great outcome for the 100 bikers that went northeast. But what about the 10 that went northwest and survived the accident?
Huh? Wouldn't it be 9 people? I mean, S's mind went back in time, right?
Right. Okay. 9 people then. What happens to the reality they were living? Does it just disappear when S changes the past? It's not as if it was only bad things that happened during that 10,000-mile trip. Maybe one of them fell in love with a woman working at a gas station they stopped at and had a child. Maybe one of them picked up a homeless kid who joined them on their adventure. That 10,000-mile journey would be full of stories, friendships, farewells, romances. The loss of those 90 lives is horrible and unfortunate. But what would rewriting their history mean? The 9 who survived lived full lives. How can it be right to just erase all that? The survivors overcame their own misery and loss and made the best they could of the hand they'd been dealt. Isn't that worth something? Isn't that the best thing that humans can aspire to? Is there really any point to a world where everything is happy? Are people who struggle for a better life just idiots? Being human is about fighting, even when it seems hopeless, and finding happiness, even in a world that hates it. Are you saying that's worthless? If you're saying rewriting the past will erase all these other timelines, then whatever God wrote those rules can Look, I'm just not going to accept that, alright?
I think it's weird for me, Ryan, because I'm still trying to play through Steins Gate, and this is such an opposite approach to time as Steins Gate. Like, this goes the direct route of every timeline has an ending, and the people in that timeline have to live through that timeline. Whereas Steins Gate is very much, once you change history, everything changes, and the timeline is reset to a different one. And so it's very interesting approaching both of these, and I think that's why I'm taking a little bit longer to process, because I have to completely rework the way I think, but I like this. This is cool.
You get it?
If Sigma changes the past, then you and Quark will never meet.
Is he right?
No, it's not gonna happen. We're here right now. This is reality. Even if Sigma does change the past, we're not just gonna disappear or something.
Oh, then that means we get to stay together? Good.
Thanks, kid.
I understand how you feel. Why you want to return to Earth is clear. You have lives there, I imagine. There are likely people waiting for you.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Have you already said goodbye to the others?
Bye, Luna, Alice, and Clover all saw us off. We told them we'd see them again someday, and then came here.
They were the only people you want to say goodbye to?
No point saying anything to Dio.
Besides, he's asleep. You were asleep too.
Sorry, but we didn't really know much about you.
You have a point. Akane was in the armor in this timeline, after all.
That's
what
wild.
About Sigma?
Well, he's not really Mr. Sigma anymore.
Of course. He is Dr. Klein now that his consciousness has returned.
Yeah, but more importantly, he's the guy who brought us all here. Not a lot of warm feelings there, you know?
And
that's a fair point, actually.
Never mind her. She's just like him. Not the Akane I knew.
Oh my gosh.
She must have seen some pretty awful things over the years. Hell, she might not even be human anymore. But the Akane Kurashiki I know isn't here. She's not anywhere.
That's so sad.
In the end, Clover and I were just pawns.
That's so sad.
Pawns to be used and then gotten rid of. Still, it's not like we're completely resentful. We had to be here to help change the past. That part's easy to understand, but...
Kinda sucks, though. I mean, Sigma and Phi have it easy. They get to go back to December 25th in 2028.
This part gets into some really weird stuff that you should look into after Zero Time Dilemma. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's fair.
They'll stop the Radical Six and save the world, and then they'll have a nice, normal future to look forward to.
That is kind of true. This Clover has had, like, the worst life. She gets kidnapped when she's 9, and then she gets kidnapped again when she's 18, or something like that. And then again when she's, like, 20. Like, she's just had an awful life, and then she finds out that she's been asleep for 45 years, and the world exploded, and she's on the moon, and she has to just learn to live
In
with
other
it.
words, they get to go back to
That's
Point E
wild.
and just enjoy history like it was supposed to happen.
But we don't. We're stuck with Point C as our starting point.
You told us about Tenmyoji's story, right? The one with the motorcycles? It would be like if Alice and I were kidnapped right before the intersection. Then whoever grabbed us takes us to wherever the bikers are going, 10,000 miles to the northwest.
Don't get us wrong. We know why we had to be here. Without us, S's consciousness wouldn't have been able to go back to right before the intersection.
If that couldn't happen, then the fate of those 90 dead bikers would be sealed.
This is wild.
It's still not the best situation for those of us left in the Northwest. We're stuck in the reality where the 90 bikers died.
Are we just supposed to go live on Earth? It's a wasteland now. And what about our friends and families?
What happened to
They
Snake?
left the world behind 45 years ago.
Even if it is for the greater good?
It just doesn't seem fair, does it?
Yeah, it's a little bit much.
So we went and talked to the old lady.
She told us that there is one way.
One way we could get back to the past.
Let's say you do go back to the past. Wouldn't that cause your minds to get thrown back here? That seemed to be how Sigma and Phi's jumps worked, at least.
Yes, you're right.
But this is different.
Different? How so?
From what she said, it sounds like there's a way we can send our bodies back in time, too.
That's ridiculous. It would create a paradox. How could you have 2 Clovers and 2 Alices at the same time?
But that wouldn't happen.
Akane says there's a way around that.
How on earth does she plan to do that?
Schrodinger's
cat.
Okay.
Oh, hey, Kyle.
Okay.
Figured you'd come here eventually.
Where's Dr. Klein? Luna said you were with him.
He said he was tired, so he's off resting right now. There's a bedroom at the end of the hallway. He's in there if you're curious. Oh, right. He told me to turn on this hologram projector thing when you showed up. Want me to start it?
Sure.
Glad to see you. There isn't anything in particular that I have to tell you. However, I imagine there are a great number of things weighing on your mind. I'd love to answer all
I just read that
questions,
Discord notification,
but
right?
unfortunately, my
What the heck is
circumstances
that
make that
game?
an impossibility.
Oh my gosh.
I hope you can forgive me. Everything I know, Phi should also know. I have instructed her to answer any questions anyone might have. Anyone other than Kyle, that is.
Oof.
What does he mean, other than Kyle?
Who knows? Is there anything you want to ask?
Right, well, I guess I may as well cut to the chase. Just who are you, Phi?
I'm not Superman, that's for sure.
No!
And I'm not Batman
No!
or Spider-Man or Aquaman or a Merman or a Wolfman.
No!
I'm not a Brahmin or Kamen or Ramen. I'm not a Cayman either, so you really don't need to worry about anything.
Please don't dodge the question. About 5 hours ago, Akane attacked you with a knife. That triggered something which sent your mind back to the past, correct? Specifically, you were sent to Point D, April 13th, 2029.
On that date, your body was already in Akane's custody. Although by then you were in cold sleep. You wouldn't have regained consciousness, but your mind was now inhabiting that body. That pod was your home for 45 years. You slept there, frozen, until the time was right. Then on January 25th, 2074, you were finally thawed out, even though you didn't wake up. Still unconscious, you were carried to the ABU. That was when your consciousness changed bodies again. A version of you from December 25th, 2028 arrived, pushing you out and sending you back to December 25th, 2028. This is when you finally woke up. In 2028, you found and joined forces with Sigma, whose older mind was inhabiting his younger body.
Oh my gosh.
Together, you attempted to infiltrate the Mars mission test facility. Unfortunately, your plan failed. The Radical Six did escape on New Year's Eve. That failure determined the path you followed. Instead of going along the line that branches out to the right from point E, you headed straight to point D. Point D being April 13th of the following year. That was the day that you made your way to Akane's hideout and asked to be put into one of the treatment pods. Another consciousness enters your body around that time from the future. It is, of course, the version of you that left your body when Akane attacked you in the garden. This caused the two versions of you to swap places, and you moved 45 years into the future, where you woke up on the garden floor. That put you on the line that
That's
comes
wild.
here. So if we discount the time you spent in cold sleep, for you, only 3.5 months have passed since that happened. That being when you were sent back into the past from the garden. Have I missed anything?
No, everything you talked about you got right.
Well, what do you mean by that?
I'm kind of an unknown variable in this equation. You could think of me as a kind of X factor. It's taken me the last 3.5 months to understand it.
I haven't understood anything in the last 3.5 seconds. Could you please explain?
It's kind of like the relationship between classical mechanics and modern physics. Strictly speaking, you can't combine velocities with v1 plus v2. v1 plus v2 divided by 1 plus v1 times v2 over c squared is the actual equation. Of course, the sort of velocities we encounter in day-to-day life don't come close to being c squared, which is the speed of light squared. That means that 1 plus v1 times v2 divided by c squared is usually going to evaluate to something pretty close to 1. Since that would mean dividing by 1, it's usually okay to just skip that step and use v1 plus v2. You see what I'm saying? In most situations it works, even if it isn't technically correct.
Apparently the consciousness in Kyle right now is supposed to be the consciousness of the player or something. There's some weird deep stuff involving that. Yeah, I'm a little bit confused.
So you knew enough to get the stuff you were talking about right. As long as you stick to that, you won't run into any problems.
I don't quite understand. In fact, I feel like you're dodging my questions.
So was that what you wanted to ask about?
No. What I really want to know is what happened between Christmas and New Year's Eve in 2028. You and Sigma infiltrated the Mars mission test site, didn't you?
Yes.
What happened there? How did Sigma lose his eye and both his arms? And why was Radical 6 in there in the first place? What could a deadly virus have to do with the simulated mission to space?
Sorry, but I can't tell you that.
Why?
Because it would change history. There is a history where the virus didn't escape. That's the line that goes to the right of point E. In that timeline, humanity isn't heading for annihilation, and Earth isn't red. The future is much brighter. But if I tell you what you're asking me right now, then that reality will disappear. You understand?
I don't. Why would all of that disappear if you told me what I want to know?
You're about to go back to the past, right?
The past? Don't be silly. I can't do that.
Then where the hell did you learn all this stuff? I just listened to you tell me a bunch of things you shouldn't have known about. You were sleeping in the pod in the garden. You just woke up. So how can you know all this? You know my past. Sigma's past.
I shall give you your answer. You are not Kyle Climb. Your body is Kyle's, but your consciousness is not. Think about it. Do you really believe you're Kyle, or could you be someone else entirely?
Then, where is the real Kyle's consciousness?
He was thrown out when you entered. Right now, in a manner of speaking.
Okay.
He has arrived at December 25th, 2028. His consciousness has gone into a body from that time. I doubt you know how much the doctor loves Kyle. He raised him on his own. Kyle is irreplaceable. Do you really think he would go back to the past and leave Kyle behind here? I know what I told the others, that Kyle was Dr. Climb's spare, but that was not his only purpose. Kyle's consciousness is integral to what we are trying to accomplish. This new mission begins on Christmas and ends on New Year's Eve 2028. Its purpose will be to infiltrate the test facility and prevent the spread of the virus. For this to happen, Kyle is absolutely necessary.
And that is why he created him?
Yes.
So now that my consciousness has entered his body, the doctor has achieved his objective. Kyle has gone back to 2028 to participate in his mission.
Correct.
There's one thing that troubles me. Kyle was created before reaching point B from point D. That means his...
Nope.
Does that mean he has entered my body?
You can just skip that. His body did not exist on Christmas in 2028. Does that mean he's entered my
Have we
body?
just switched places?
I suppose you could put it that way, yes.
That's ridiculous. What's going to happen to me? You telling me I have to spend the rest of my life here in this box, living in a borrowed body?
No, not at all. You can travel freely through time and space. You are an uncontrolled variable that entered our closed system. As such, the rules of this world do not apply to you.
I have no idea what...
Please don't try to play dumb. I know what you are. Surely you must know by now, too. You are about to go into the past and save the world. Phi and Sigma, even with all of his future knowledge, will need your help. Only you can right the horrible wrongs of our past. Only you can save the world.
There's no way I...
Yes, there is. You have to. Don't you want to know the truth? Don't you want to know what happened in
This is like
between
hardcore
Christmas
commercial.
and New Year's
This is like a
Eve
hardcore
in
commercial for Zero Time Dilemma.
2028?
Well, yes, I do, but...
Then you must believe. Reality is shaped by what we believe reality should be. If observation can change the motion of a particle, then how is it odd to think that human thought can shape reality? Your will can change history. The world will be reshaped into the one you imagine. Remember what I've told you. Only you can change history. Only you can save the world.
That's so confusing. I'm so confused. I am so confused. Okay. This ending is weird AF. Well, you know what time it is. I'll tell you what time it is. I'll tell you exactly what time it is right now. What time is it? Right now? Let me tell you. I'll tell you exactly what time it is. This is such an interesting, like, thing, because Dirt Squirrel watched Zero Time Dilemma, but not this game, and now he makes everything makes sense. But, I have no memory of this whatsoever. You're exactly right. Gold time. AB room. This is normal. Yup. First, the door of the AB room. Most doors open elevator. AB gate. Most elevators include a safety feature that prevents the door from closing. These have no such safety feature. Wait. Oh, so if you put your arm in the door, it will just destroy you. Bracelet 1. This is the same. Yes, okay. AI. Artificial insemination, which is a process by which eggs are fertilized without the use of a male organ. It is commonly used in the breeding of dairy cattle and pigs, but it's also been... Oh, I'm being told that in this case, AI stands for artificial intelligence, which is another thing entirely. Word 0 says before he leaves. These are a few variations. Have a nice trick, have a nice trap, have a nice trader. Quantum computer. Okay, here we go. A device built by Tom Kwan and Boise, Idaho commuter. It's actually a lie. Quantum computer. I hate that. Quantum commuter. I hate that. It's a highly advanced machine that uses quantum phenomena such as superposition, entanglement, to perform calculations. Let's say, for example, that you want to determine the prime factors of 5183. A Van Neumann-style computer, let's call him Paul, would say, can I divide it by 2, 3, 5, and just run through numbers like that until I got the answer. Mr. Kwan, on the other hand, the computer, not the imaginary commuter, would just look at 5183 and say, obviously, it's 71 times 73. A traditional computer with n bits can only be one of 2 to the n states at once. A quantum computer with n bits can be up to 2 and simultaneously. That means quantum computer can complete calculations that are currently impossible. It's amazing, Mr. Kwan. Are you seeing anybody? Oh my gosh, you're so right. You've seen that game, so you're actually jumping through time, Dirt Squirrel. That's amazing. You're jumping through time. Fluorite graffiti. 2 Milkman Go comedy. The sentence construction is obviously wrong. There must be a reason why. What is the nonary game? The deadly game that 9 people have been forced to play. Nonary game rules. Hide open the number 9 door. Blah, 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 blah. This is new. This is all the same, I mean. Really? Okay. That's cool. This is just the supplementary rules. Pair solo. Yeah, it was way at the beginning of the game, and I only remember what it is because of watching a playthrough, but yeah, it's welcome to my kingdom, right? BP. The time period 03 is referring to is the time when the door is fully open. That means that if one takes into account the time when the door is opening and when it's closing, it's quote-unquote open for somewhat more than 9 seconds. Incidentally, the game refers to a lunar eclipse on New Year's Eve in 2028, which is, or rather will be, an actual event. It will only be visible in the Eastern Hemisphere at 6:52 Universal Time, 16:52. Wild. Alright, Soparil Beta. One of the drugs used by the nonary bracelets is an extremely powerful anesthetic. As the first drug injected when a participant breaks one of the rules, this drug also appeared in Virtue's Last Reward, sister title 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors, created by Mr. Gintaro Hongo, who was the president of Cradle Pharmaceuticals. High usage can lead to some side effects, including severe memory loss. It can also be aerosolized and used as anesthetic or knockout gas. Oh, yeah! Yeah, no, that would be bad. That would be bad. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, I will definitely shy away. I've been less... Yeah, no, it's good that I haven't looked at that, honestly. Wild. No, that's fair. ADAM. Acronym for Automatic Diagnosis and Analysis Machine. Advanced computer built into the device can automatically diagnose if subject that is already deceased. The ADAM can perform a virtual autopsy to determine the cause of death. Pandemic. When an epidemic spreads beyond a certain area, it becomes a pandemic. Some historical pandemics include cholera, typhoid fever, tuberculosis, the Black Plague, smallpox, and coronavirus. Certain influenza outbreaks have also reached pandemic or near-pandemic levels of infection. In Spain, 1918. The Spanish flu wasn't a pandemic, technically. That's actually interesting. That's interesting. The Spanish flu was technically not a pandemic, but coronavirus is? According to this, at least. If you want to know what Radical and 6 mean, you'll just have to play the game and find out. I love it. Yeah, no, this is huge spoiler stuff, but... EU stands for Erotic Units. EU is a system developed to measure a combination of physical, emotional, and stimulant situation attractiveness. It ranges from 0 to 20, where 20 might be Marilyn Monroe and 0 might be Gilbert Gottfried. For the curious, Danny Trejo rates 16 EU. Just being sexy does not guarantee a high EU rating. Not to be confused with competing systems of hotness or sexability, the EU system weighs a number of factors such as practicality, sustainability, emotional investment, and the bias of the observer. Women with high EU rating have usually mastered the art of the tease. Grandpa Videos, a collection of films that Tenmyoji has gathered. The content isn't really explicit per se, but they still aren't really appropriate for someone Porky's age. It should be noted that the term does not imply that videos contain grandpas or grandpa-like actors. Sigma's cat problem. I'm invested. Sigma has a strange verbal and possibly psychological tick which causes him to make cat puns whenever he talks about cats. The cause of this behavior seems to be an experience he had as a child. When Sigma was in preschool, there was a deserted house near his school that everyone called the Cat Mansion. He always loved cats, so every day he would visit the Cat Mansion and give the cats that lived there some of his lunch. One day he realized that he could understand what the cats were saying to one another. A magical black cat appeared and told him that it had been given this gift in exchange for giving food to its fellows. But, the magical cat said, to be continued. You can never tell anyone about your gift, the magical black cat warned. If you do, you'll be cursed. But young Sigma was so happy about his newfound ability that he slipped and told a girl about it, so the black cat cursed him. His curse was to speak only in cat puns for the rest of his life. Fortunately for him, a magical white cat came along soon afterward, felt the curse was a little too harsh and lessened it, so that he would only talk in cat puns whenever he talked about cats, and they lived happily ever after. Phone. Interesting. Okay, what if you try something like 5309 or 6969? I did try 6969 as a joke, and it actually worked. Golem is an anthropomorphic creature from Jewish folklore. Golems are made of clay and will obey any orders given to them, although they tend to take instructions very literally. I'm just reading them, and if they seem interesting, then I'm keep going. Oh, I love it. GTMCMGOLM stands for Golem Type Male Cockney Model Number GOLM. Chinese room is a thought experiment. That's Luna. That's Luna. Do intelligent responses indicate actual understanding? Cyril contests that a computer could be programmed to respond intelligently in conversation with humans, so much so that it would seem to be human itself, but that it would not necessarily or perhaps could not actually understand what it was saying. How can we know that human minds are not in essence Chinese rooms? Can we really Oh, this is cool. Oh, this is cool. The Turing test is designed to gauge a computer's ability to exhibit intelligent behavior. Human judge, human subject, machine. The judge engages in conversation with the human and the machine. If the judge cannot determine who is the machine and who is the human, the machine is considered to have passed the Turing test. When 5 engines of perhaps Sheen or companions have been captured to perform a test, she's referring to the Turing test. Wild. The gist of Golem's somewhat rambling explanation is that the center of thought doesn't necessarily have to reside in the body. In the case of Golem, the self clearly resided in the mainframe. Wound 1. So that was the old woman, right? Oh, I don't know. Coroner, not to be confused with coroner. Coroner. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Autopsy. It is also super gross. Luminol mixture. Keep this in mind the next time you're contemplating how to deal with the neighbors listening to death metal at 3 in the morning. Or so the person sitting behind me says. A painful breakup often has the opposite effect. You want desperately to forget, but find that to be impossible, which leads to all sorts of other mental disorders. Or so the person sitting behind me says. This guy's great. Alright, cooked food 1. Twice cooked pork. A Szechuan dish. Paella. Nasi goreng. Schnitzel. Yukejang, Gejang, Borscht, Tom Kach Gai, Thai dish, chef's pasta. Have a nice trauma, have a nice trace, have a nice trumpet. Free the soul, this is all stuff we already know. Yeah, we already know all that. Free the soul, Myrmidons are elite frontline soldiers. Rumors say that all Myrmidons have the same face, suggesting they may all be clones of a single person. No one knows where this rumor comes from exactly, but I can tell you that it's a very credible source. Brother, the founder of Free the Soul. Okay. Bracelet 3 wasn't revealed in the game. The bracelet put on the left wrist of the 9 participants in the Amadex game has an important feature that's never mentioned. As soon as it's put on, the needle on the underside activates and inserts itself into the wearer. It doesn't necessarily mean that it injects a drug, only that it activates and pierces the skin. Maybe there's something on the needle, or maybe there isn't. All that's certain is that when someone puts on the bracelet, they get poked. Interesting. Okay, AB game, we know all this, we know all this, we know all this. Penalty, if you break the rules. Penalty for failures of death, we know this. Voting machine, it uses a touch panel not to be mistaken for an ATM. Hazmat scotch, okay, we got scotch. Scotch is Temioti's favorite drink. He often claims a little scotch should scratch his itch after returning from work, which annoys Quark. Hazmat suit. Root beer float. Quark is taking to saying root beer floats my boat, which warms Tenmyoji's heart. Floor A and Floor B. There's a rumor that the floors were actually named after a particular Swedish pop rock group from the 70s, but everyone involved in this project has insisted that this is a vile and hurtful lie. Does anyone know what that's a reference to? A, B, floor A, floor B. I have no idea what that is a reference to. ABBA? Oh, that would make sense. This is just what the researcher's journal says. We've already known all this. Jumpy doll. It sounds like someone named a doll Jumpy, but why? The secret of Quark's hat. I'm ready. Don't you think his hat looks kind of weird? There's that huge band that just wraps around his head. Is he hiding a pair of Ferengi ears, or maybe he's just a young Lobot? No! Well, this is just between you and me, but he's got missiles in this side. The sides of the hat are hiding these paws like you see in helicopters or SAM sites, except these missiles are tiny. And when he gets in trouble, both sides of the hat open up and they just fly out all at once like, psh. Just kidding, actually. He just keeps snacks in there. Oh my gosh. Alright, 10, treatment pod. We know all this, we know all this. We know all this, cold sleep. In the world where this game takes place, however, okay. You thought they were speakers? I thought they were like mirrors. I thought they were mirrors that came out. Although I guess now, knowing that I didn't know I was an old guy, would mean that they couldn't have been mirrors, because I definitely would have looked in them at one point. CAS. Sells live system. In real life, the problem comes when you try to sort something out, which also must be done instantly. In this game, however, the technological magic of the treatment pod makes returning from cold sleep possible. Past 2 notary games. Yeah. Esper Resonance. This is just explaining how it connects to the first game. Notary Veterans. Those ones. Skittish Man gets blown up. Neostigmine. Okay, Ice 9. That's where Snake's real name is shown? Oh, wait, what? Real name Light. Oh yeah, no, we knew that. We knew that. It was Owie, Light, and Nona. Nona was... Owie was Santa. Nona was Lotus's daughter. And then... Yeah. Clover. Still Clover, just younger and with a jacket. I want to know friggin' Lotus's name. We never know Lotus's name. I've never learned Lotus's name. H. Kentaro Hongo. It's one of the characters who appeared in 9 Hours, 9 Doors. Oh, interesting. Wait. And a devoted follower of Free the Soul. So Ace is straight up on this friggin' crazy Dio clone trooper crap. Morphogenetic field theory. Yeah, that's all. None of that is fun or new. None of that's fun or new. Factorization is a process. Reducing a number to a series of numbers that, when multiplied together, give the original number. When taken to its logical conclusions, we yield a list of prime numbers. For purposes of factorization, 1 is not considered a prime. Interesting. 107 is the next. Oh, it's not the next one. I mean, like, 17 is a prime number. 13 is a prime number. Wild. Tufui. Ego Eris. It might look like it's talking about a pair of sexy toaster waffles, but it actually means something like, what you are, I was, what I am, you will be. Sometimes used as an epitaph, the implication is that the person in question was once alive like the reader, but that the reader will someday also be dead. A little ominous, I guess. Soyce. Yeah, we knew this, okay. Prisoner's Dilemma, we already know this. We know this one, the antimatter bomb. We know this, detonator. Technically it's called a remote triggering detonation signal device, but that takes a really long time to type out, so we'll just use detonator. I love it. Cybernetic arm. A device originally created to weaponize genetically engineered psychic bears. Just kidding, it's actually an arm augmented for online sex chat. Not really, in truth it's the arm from a mysterious libido-powered robot. I'm just messing with you. The cybernetic arm is actually a mechanical limb that you can control with your mind. Really. It has titanium alloy for bones and those are configured. These are great, man. These are great. This necklace. The necklace is never seen without. It has a cage containing blue bird. Someone special gave it to her as a gift, and she says it reminds her of the following lesson. Search for happiness wherever you can, because the search itself will make you happy. The 3 laws of robotics, we know. The 0th law of robotic. A robot may not harm humanity or by inaction allow humanity to come to harm. Clearly the 0th law has priority over the first 3, so the first law would have unwritten addendum except where this conflict would... Whether or not 016 was aware of this law is unclear, but in any event, 016 did act in accordance with it. Okay. That explains why by inaction she allows people to come to harm. Because she has to not harm humanity. Wild. Wild. Okay. Swimsuit. For some reason, Sigma, or perhaps the author, seems to be unnaturally obsessed with swimsuits. Why is that? Was he involved in a horrible swimsuit accident now repressed in his youth? Did he have a crush in high school on a girl with the swim team who put her Olympic aspirations ahead of any possible romance? Is he just a perv? The world will never know. Password input device, we know. Antimatter reactor, we know all this. Bada bing, bada boom. It looks like a giant octopus, but it's definitely not edible no matter how you cook it. Anti-hydrogen atom. That's all boring science stuff. TNT equivalent. TNT stands for Trinity, Tallow, no. Trontitilitrin, no. Trinidad and Tobago, ah yes. Trinitrotoluene. A kilogram of TNT has 4.184 megajoules of energy, but a kilogram of butter has 30 megajoules. Butter is some dangerous stuff. $63 terajoules, the amount of energy you get by combining 350 milligrams of each matter and antimatter. Butter. No, no butter, no. Floor B graffiti. Hourglass displayed in the background is actually a 4-second timer. Doesn't have much practical use except maybe for really impatient people. If you were at a restaurant waiting for your food to come out, for instance, hey, how long are you going to make me wait? I've already flipped this hourglass 100 times. Technically, 100 times would only be 400 seconds, which is 6 minutes and 40 seconds, but saying 100 times is much more dramatic, and therefore much more likely to get a desirable response from the wait staff. I read this one yesterday. There's a measure of how much of a gentleman you are. Somewhere deep in the United Kingdom is an organization that tracks all gentlemen, determining the caliber based off an ancient and Byzantine collection of rules and guidelines. Every year during the spring, a representative of this organization conducts a cursory investigation of each member's behavior, for at least what appears to. The following formula is used. Old ladies escorted across the street times top hat owned times puzzles solved times money given to gentleman tracking organization equals total gentle points. Knife. Floor B hallway locks. Yup, principle of causality. Normally I would comment here that the quantum level is where, quote, crap gets real, close quote, but given the nature of this phenomenon, it seems more like it would be more accurate to say that quantum level is where it gets unreal. Knox's 10 Commandments. Writing a mystery novel. The criminal must be mentioned early on. All supernatural, supernatural agencies are ruled out. No one secret room or passage. No hitherto undiscovered poisons may be used, nor any appliance which will need a long scientific explanation. No one with extrasensory perception or similar powers can appear. No accident must ever help the detective, nor must he ever have an unaccountable intuition which proves to be right. The detective must not commit the crime. The detective must declare any clues he may discover. The stupid friend of the detective, the Watson, must conceal nothing from the reader. Twin brothers and doubles generally must not appear unannounced. So did he break all of these rules in this game? Rule 1 is like the only one that is followed. That is hilarious and I love it. Sun, Moon, Star Key. Slingshot. Frequently used by adolescent ne'er-do-wells. Can be used as a necklace, but this is not recommended. Test site mystery. The test site. Okay. Interesting. A woman's voice. 6 of us are dead, counting myself. There are only 3 left. I guess you say I killed them. No, it's not quite right. Not just them, not just the 6. All of them. All 6 billion. It does. It reminds me of the Trashopedia. Yeah, exactly. Trouble, tragedy, trust, conjunction. This was boring. There's nothing funny. This picture that Temioji was holding. The subject is a girl named Akane Kurashiki. Akane was one of the people that appeared in this game's sister title, 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors. As a child in front of Junpei, the title's main character. In 1999, when she was 21 years old. This picture was taken 9 years before then when she was 12. Wasn't the left side of the picture. If you look closely, it almost looks like there's a man grinning in the background. Do you see him? Don't worry if it seems a little strange. The spirit medium has told us that the person in the picture is a guardian spirit who's looking after her. Must have shown up here because he heard what sort of destiny she had in store and decided to see how she was doing. That's sketchy as all get out. Minkowski space. Minkowski space. A way of describing reality that adds a fourth dimension of time to the three dimensions of space was described by German mathematician Hermann Minkowski and therefore bears his name. It's also the name of a ski resort for miniature cows. Minkowski space. Lagomorph, scientific name for the order to which rabbits belong, and 0 the third's actual name. Timioji and Alice. Timioji told Alice that there was something he had to tell her. That something, of course, was his identity, and that he already knew about Alice in Ice 9, and not because he'd heard about it from Clover. Interesting. Timioji and Clover. After the second room of the AB game, after going through the purple and green doors, Clover was solo was heard saying the following: Timioji, her opponent. What the heck did you mean with all that? It's not fair. If you're telling the truth, then I... Same thing he meant to say to Alice, of course. He told her who he was. That simple fact shook Clover's resolve, and he made her vote ally. Probably hadn't been his original intention to betray her, but after thinking about Quark's safety, he probably felt that he had no choice to pick betray. So who was PHI? There are a few clues scattered throughout the story, but nothing conclusive. Perhaps the truth will be revealed at the Nevada test site. Here's a little something about... Oh my gosh, about the bomb deactivation passwords. Those passwords, they aren't just gibberish. There's something hidden in each one. I can only give you one hint. +1. Good luck, there's a lot more to say, but I think we'll stop the secret archives here. Thank you for playing. We hope you enjoyed the game. +1. I'm gonna do something stupid. +1. Alright, here we go. Password number 0 turns into M, Y, B, R, O, T, G is going to be H, yep, D is E, Q is R. Password number 0 to the bomb is my brother. Password number 1, if you add 1, is going to be C, R, A, S, H, K, E, Y, S. Password number 1 is crash keys if you translate it one letter over. Password number 2 is F, R, E, E, free, Z, wait. Am I wrong? E, Q, G, E, Q, D, D, Y, R, N, T, K, N, T, K, free, Z, soul is the password to number 2, and the password to number 3 finally is going to be my, R, M, I, Myrmidons. I hate that! I hate that! What crash keys is? No, I don't. I don't. Is it something? So, welcome back, babe. So, The passwords to deactivate the bombs, if you move every letter one letter over, become Free the Soul, My Brother, Myrmidons, and Crash Keys. It's Akane's organization that fought against Free the Soul. I hate that. I hate that. But I love it. This game is brilliant. This game is brilliant. Kurashiki, Crash Keys. Oh my gosh, this game is brilliant. This game's brilliant. Hold on, there's one more. The password to the lion thing. I'm looking at the password to the lion thing. Hold on. N J. Okay, this looks like gibberish. Yeah, this one looks like gibberish. Okay, yeah, that one's gibberish. Oh, okay. Alright. I can dig that. Okay, yeah, so the password for the other one is gibberish, unless we move it back one, which would be LH. Yeah, no, that's still good. Gibberish. Okay, well, this is a wild game. Okay, well. Let's chat, why don't we? Let's chat. Wow, what a game. Wow, what a world. What a game. 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 What a timeline. What a game. Wow. VLR's over. I think we're done here. I think we're done here with VLR. I do want to kind of express my generalized thoughts. Wow, they set up for a sequel. Wow. I'm assuming, you don't have to tell me if you don't want to, if you feel like it's too spoilery, but I'm assuming that Zero Time Dilemma is us going and trying to stop the spread of Radical 6, I'm assuming. I know when I was doing some voice actor research, I saw Junpei, Akane, and maybe Sigma and Phi in Zero Time Dilemma as listed as voice actors, so I'm assuming we get to work with old Junpei and old Akane, which is going to be super fun. Wow. So, to recap, one last time. Fun fact about Zero Time Dilemma? Okay. But, to recap one last time before I hang up, because I think you understand that I do really like this game, and my mind is really blown, and I did really have a good time. I'm currently recording my next playthrough with my brother on my YouTube channel. The one after that will be Danganronpa, and we will work our way through the Danganronpa series if he enjoys it. I'm not going to force him to play something he doesn't like. If he likes Danganronpa and we get through the whole series, then I'm going to play this series with him because holy cow, it's so good. It's so good. I love it. It was really, really good. Also, hi, welcome back, babe. Hope you enjoyed the album. I'm sorry I didn't acknowledge you better. Because interest in fans' problem was it was given a shoestring budget, and that says a lot. I see. Well, I'm invested to see where the story goes. We'll see where it goes, but yeah. I guess a couple things to note. Number one, who everyone was. In the first game, it was pretty straightforward, right? Lotus was the parent of people in the Nonary game. Seven was the cop from the Nonary game. Ace and Nine were the people that ran the Nonary game. Junpei was the one that saved June. June, Santa, Clover, and Snake were all participants in the Nonary game. Pretty straightforward. This game, we had me, who was Zero Senior. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the bunny the whole time is like, one of you Zero Senior. He's not lying. He's totally right. I was Zero Senior the whole time. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I was Zero Senior. Phi, we still don't know entirely about. I think there's going to be more in the next game with her history and her backstory, but we know she's an Esper. We know she can jump through time. That's all we know. Oh, good. I'm glad. Dio's a Myrmidon. He's dumb. He's stupid. And we hate him. Akane is the old woman who is also K in 6 of the 9 timelines, which is weird. Akane is K, is the old woman. Quark is just a child that Temioji, who is Junpei, found and raised. You love her new design? Okay, I'm intrigued. Is it still 3D animated? Or is it back to 2D? And then, yeah, and then K is either my clone or Dakane, which is so weird. So weird, man. Temioji's Junpei. Alice and Clover are cinematic movie than a visual. Not, like, there's not a lot of choices, or what do you mean? Long story short, wow. I wasn't on board. I was on board. Let me correct that statement. I was on board. Oh, I don't click through dialogue. Oh, that's no fun. Okay, well, that'll be an interesting playthrough then. That'll be an interesting one. I'll have to, like, pause after big reveals and be like, hold on, pause, I need to think about this. No, really, really good game. I think I wasn't sold on this one over 999, to be honest, until I think the Tenmyoji ending. When we got the Tenmyoji ending and we saw his picture of June, that was when I was hooked. I think if you took out the Tenmyoji, Alice, and True ending, I would not like this game more than 999. I really did like 999. I really do like the story of it, and I like the simplicity of it. That being said, with those 3 endings and just the insanity that they are, I love it. I love it. I'm so good. See ya, Dirt Squirrel. See ya. But yeah, with those 3 endings, definitely like this game over 999. Definitely am very excited to see where it goes, but could use a break. I could definitely use a break from all the time travel nonsense and chaos, and so we are going to take a break. Next week I'll start Your Turn to Die, I guess. I'll play around with that, the settings of that and stuff, and we'll play that next week. So we just make sure Adam knows. I'll let him know in the Discord, but yeah, we'll do that. I might, and free, that is nice. Yeah, that is nice. We'll see where I'm at after that, how long it takes, if I want to jump right back into Zero Time Dilemma or not. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah. Ooh, okay. Actually, question. Okay, actually, for real, legitimate question here. Should I... how many weeks do I have until the wedding? 3? 2? 3? How many Wednesdays are there until the wedding? There are 1, 2, 3 Wednesdays until the wedding. 1 is the week of. I don't know if I want to start the game yet. I don't know if I do. Because I probably will not stream the week of the wedding at all. Because I'll be packing and moving and stuff. And I definitely won't stream... I probably won't stream the Wednesday after the wedding either. Because we'll have just gotten back from our little mini honeymoon. So I'm thinking, hear me out, I'm thinking that Wednesdays are just a random stream day until... I'm thinking putting Weeb Wednesday on hiatus until after the honeymoon, so that I don't start a game and then not play it for 3 weeks, you know? So I think I'll say that. I don't think we'll start Your Turn to Die yet. I think next week I'll probably either continue some Mario Kart or start a different 100% game that I want to try to do as well. Either start Lego Star Wars or do a speedrun or something, or play Mario Kart. And then, yeah, I was going to try to stream tomorrow. I don't think I am going to. I'm not going into work, but there's a lot of other stuff I want to do, so I'm probably not going to stream tomorrow. And Saturday, it will probably be in the evening, just because we have a birthday party we're going to at noon. So, I will be back Saturday, hopefully, but it'll be later. And I might play Galaxy, I might play Brawl, I'm not really sure. I've been doing pretty good at Brawl, so I kind of want to keep that train going, but... Long story short, Ryan, this was a great game. Thank you for recommending this series. Thank you for... You've changed my whole stream setup. like, between Danganronpa and this, you've kind of defined my stream, so I greatly appreciate your game suggestions. Anything else you got suggestions of, let me know. But for now, I'm going to call it. I'm going to take a night. I've been streaming like 4 hours, if you count up all the time, I think. It's been either 3.5 or close to 4 hours. So we're going to end stream. Have a good night. Sleep well. Wow, what a game. And I'll see you on Saturday. Bye-bye.